Come on in and let's discuss what the hell is going on. Are we watching? Um, is this like real? Is this a movie? What in the world is going on? New suspect in custody. Wrong guy yesterday. Broke down his door. What do we know tonight? Well, come on in. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. We got a lot to cover tonight. Wait till you hear what the hell's going on right now. So they're back now. They're back now at Nancy's house. This is just getting bizarre and bizarre and bizarre. Hello, Mike. Come on in. This is getting crazier and crazier. I think they're back at Tommaso's house. Guys, we got to go over some things. Right now, we're going to hear this Carlos guy. Do we have a lawsuit? Do we have a lawsuit in the makings or no? Once again, we're watching JLR Investigates along with another YouTuber. We have permission to show some of the stream. We got a lot to cover, guys. Get your coffee. Get your coffee now. Get your coffee. If you don't work tomorrow, get some coffee. Mr. A, get some coffee. I'm going to wait for a few of you to come in, but I can tell you this. We got a lot to cover. We're going to go over this Carlos. We're going to go over this Carlos guy, this Hispanic guy. What do we know about him? And was he looking into somebody's house, but was it Nancy's? And why did they let him go after 2 hours? Is he involved? Will they go back? We're going to go over that. We're going to go over that. JLR saying hi. We're going to go over 4,000 tips in 24 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, will this case go cold? Are we watching a mess up now with the FBI and Kash Patel? Hello, everybody. I'm Sal. Come on in. Yes. Is now the FBI's, are they messing up? Are they just trying to get lucky? And can somebody on here who's in law enforcement, hopefully we get somebody we had in law enforcement, I believe, a couple nights ago, explain to me this. I have a question. I want to know, my question is, the privacy law on eyes. Privacy law on eyes. In other words, our eyes. So is there a privacy law on eyes? Meaning it's not legal to go to DMV like Las Vegas, Texas, if they have a suspect. It's called a privacy law. What privacy law? If you need somebody, go to the eyes, get your information. But clearly the FBI screwed up on this Carlos guy. Or maybe not. I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to hear from you guys tonight. Do you think this Carlos guy, they need to go back? And also somebody explain the privacy law. And we're going to talk about the glove. The glove. I'm going to give you my opinion on the glove. How the hell did that glove be found now? What's it, 11 days? Can somebody help me out? 11 days, they finally found the glove? You mean to tell me after 11 days, I'm going to tell you what I think happened. You guys are going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised because the glove doesn't fit. How did they say it, OJ? That glove, that big glove, you mean to tell me they missed that glove? OJ Simpson, yes. How the hell? Oh, and I got some more information, guys. I got so much. I'm missing things. I got to read my notes. Here's some more stuff. You know where all the media is at? The independent journalists, CNN, Fox, all the news. You know the media? Do you know they're not being searched and looked at? And you know they have not checked across the street? Ladies and gentlemen, oh, we're going to get to that as well, Janine. They have never searched, according to the news, the people there, their boots on ground, they said they never went over there and searched. Now, we don't know if they didn't search the day of the crime. How the hell were all the media's at on the one side of the street? They never searched where the glove was found about a quarter mile away. And is that the glove or are we getting set up and played? And by the way, what Janine said, I was getting there, Janine. And then whoa, this is just crazy. And then the Bitcoin. Note to TMZ. TMZ again. No defense to TMZ, guys. If this was real, no defense to the TMZ, wouldn't they have sent it to our channel? I'm only kidding, guys. I'm only kidding. I really am. Wouldn't they send that to the family? Now, as Janine alluded to, thank you, Janine, there was a Bitcoin, one Bitcoin was sent to TMZ last night or this morning. Folks, this is going crazy. I feel like we're watching some kind of a bad Netflix or Prime Video. You know when you watch those movies, but you stay tuned and they're just sloppy? What in the world is happening? How are they so sloppy? Why did the FBI rush into this guy? Listen to Carlos. You ready for Carlos? Here we go.
His home, too.
Broke the doors?
They broke his doors? Hold on.
Door in the back?
If they broke my doors, they're paying for that. I'm sorry, guys. I don't care if it's Kash Patel, Donald Trump, Jimmy Carter. I don't care. If they broke my doors, they're paying. Here we go.
Tuesday night, his home, too.
Broke the doors? What else?
They broke the doors.
In the back?
Early this morning, Carlos spoke to reporters outside.
Heavy Hook, I'm glad you're here.
After he was released from police custody, saying he was held against his will and said officers took 2 hours to tell him why he was being arrested.
I didn't do anything, to be honest. Like, I'm innocent.
This development comes 11 days after Nancy Guthrie, the mother.
Is he innocent, guys? Folks, real quick. Hey, Heavy Hook, I'm glad you're here. I mean this, guy. We had a lot of fun last night. Andy, Mike, we had a lot. I mean, not fun, but we had some laughs in between all this. I mean, there's nothing fun about this, folks. We need to have justice. We need to, at this point now, I think they're looking for a body. Although, you know, there's always a miracle. I continue to say that. I really mean that. Do you guys think this Carlos guy is innocent? So, are you ready for this? And I know some of you's already heard this, but a lot of yous maybe were working today. Maybe you guys were at birthdays, or maybe you guys are just tuning in. You haven't followed this in a while. So this guy, Carlos, I'm not going to say his last name because that's not right. But this guy, Carlos, that we just watched, let me go back. I'm going to pause it. Hold on. Whoops.
of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie comes 2 hours to tell him why he was being arrested.
I didn't do anything, to be honest. Like,
all right. He didn't do anything. I'm just going to come out because I can't hold back, guys. It's the Italian in me. I think he's innocent. He's innocent. Okay, maybe he has the same eyes with all this AI, but you can't blame the FBI too much. I'll tell you why. What I heard about an hour ago is he is a delivery man. He's not a handyman. He's a delivery man. And there was a photo or a video. Don't quote me, guys. Definitely a photo, maybe a video of him looking into some house, not Nancy's house, guys. And you guys be free to chat among each other. I just want to explain to everybody. I'm anxious to give you guys an update. They said he was looking. There was a photo or a video. He was looking in a house. I don't believe it was in a neighborhood of those $1 million homes. So the authorities and the FBI said, wait a minute. These eyes are similar to the guy in the mask, right? And they said, you know what? He's a peeking Tom, or he's looking into a home. Let's go interrogate this guy. Remember yesterday he was detained. So before we throw the FBI under the bus, but the problem, what's going to happen is they're going to have to they knock down this guy's door, you know. So what do you think? You think this guy? You think he could be a suspect still? But why would they let him go? Yeah, there's his mustache. Hey, Mitch, welcome in. I mean, but why would they let him go? Hey, thank you for the gift. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much last night for the gifts. It really, really, we appreciate. We're able to spread the love to the homeless today. And we got more money for. Thank you so much for all the gifts and the new memberships who came on board. Thank you so much. Shout out to Heavy Hook, who became a member. Thank you, Adrian, everybody else on here. It's just my opinion, guys. Please don't agree with me. I'd like to hear from you. Heavy Hook says, not a suspect, but he's got some information. Excuse me. Yeah. I just don't know. We're going to go back and forth on this. It's tough, but let's listen in a little bit more. We got JLR. He's still having a lot of coffee, and you know, he's in front of the house. I'll listen to it again.
I'm innocent.
This developed
I'm innocent.
11 days after Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, was first reported missing, and hours after the FBI released
Crystal!
images showing a masked individual who officials believe was armed with a weapon standing outside of Nancy Guthrie's home on the night she was abducted. Officials believe something may still stand out.
Then inside the ski mask, you see his eyebrows, very manicured, which is unusual, and a little bit of facial hair, which could easily be gone right after they leave the scene here. But what it appears to me is someone who's taking great planning to hide their appearance, yet poor planning and poor professionalism.
You guys, I'm going to give you what I think. And please disagree with me or agree. I don't care. I really appreciate it. You know what I think, guys? I don't think this guy would never went in the house. Oh my God, I know a lot of people saying, Sal, how much coffee have you drank? Just a half a cup. I don't think he never made it in the house. I don't. And I'm sorry, the plants and all that. I think they're playing us. Somebody went in that house. I don't think he went in the house. And they're playing us with the glove. And by the way, that glove, let me tell you something about that glove. I think somebody dropped that glove off. I could be 100,000% wrong. I think somebody dropped that glove. Somebody put that glove out there today. Oh, what we got here? Hold on. We got another glove. Wait a minute. New suspect? So I'm hearing also, we're going to get to the new suspect in a minute. I heard earlier that there's a suspect for interest. That's why you have the camera, some of the press left over. Who's that other suspect? A lot of people that I talk to, I'm sure you guys are talking to friends and family members. I bet you hear a lot of people saying Tomasi still. We're hearing a lot of Tomasi. It's kind of dark, so we'll go back to here.
As to how they approached this door and the ultimate crime scene.
There are also chilling timestamps. The FBI says
Glove don't
Guthrie's
fit.
Nest camera
Must
is
have quit.
disabled at
That's what it was.
1:47 a.m. 41 minutes later,
Starts
her
getting hutch.
pacemaker app disconnects
Glove
from her
don't
phone.
fit. Must
that
have
phone
quit.
was left inside the house. In one of her most recent Instagram posts, Savannah shared images of the masked person from her mother's camera with the caption, "We believe."
I'm sorry, guys, but who in the right mind would pick up some flowers or plants? Come on, guys. Why the hell would you pick up some plants to cover up the camera? I think they're throwing us off. Come on. Are you looking with is this somebody who's got some kind of like mental illness or something? Well, obviously they do. Who the hell wouldn't have a towel? Come on, folks. Come on. They're trying, whoever's doing this, I don't think this guy never went in the house. Somebody went in that house. We know Nancy's gone. I don't mean gone, deceased, unalive. We don't know. But she's not in her house. Guys, this is something we have never seen exactly like this in the United States. I think they had one similar situation. It happened in Switzerland. I believe it was Switzerland. But the note and the ransom was sent to a family member. It was not sent to TMZ or to their news. The more I think about this and the more I talk to some of my quote unquote street people friends in Philly, you know what? Why would they send something out to TMZ? No defense. Why? Come on, folks. Why? How the hell? It was a distraction. They wanted, and I don't think, come on, weeds, flowers. Come on, we got to wake up. And I feel that the FBI is being played. The sheriff's being played. I gave the FBI credit last night. Let me tell you something. They're all getting played. I really think so, man. And here's something else. The media, they should be they should be asking each person that's out there, who do you work for? CBS. Who do you work for? NBC. Who do you work for? CNN. Go home. Just kidding. Who do you work for? Fox. Who do you work for? JLR Investigates YouTube channel. Okay, who do you work for? I'm Joe Smith. I have a YouTube channel. Good. Show me some credential, your channel. Okay, good. Stay on that side. They're not asking anybody, folks. We need to smell the coffee. Where's my coffee? Let me smell some coffee. I got some energy tonight, guys. Something is not right. something is not right. And I thought when they had Kash Patel there, I thought when they sent Kash Patel and the FBI, I work for Sal Capano News Network. Exactly. Show something. Now, I'm not saying, anybody has a right to be out in the street, but they should be clearly, and also, I can't figure out how they missed the glove that big. That glove is big. That glove is big. That's not a hairdresser glove. My wife's a hairdresser. That glove they found is big. That's not a. So let's we'll go listen a little bit more of this. I want to find that glove.
She is still alive. Bring her home. And officials say it took 10 days for high-tech investigators to find the new video and photos since Guthrie's cameras were not set to save recorded images. Chris.
Susan, thank you. And we're going to stay on top of this story and the very latest on these breaking developments. In the meantime, you can find our complete coverage of the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie at cbsnewyork.com.
JR is taking off somewhere. What we're going to do now.
They're going to love my resume, but I gotta find the right word.
Hold on, guys. I got to turn some light. I know there's a glare, guys. I'm going to try to turn the lights off here. My wife's not snoring tonight. She goes, "Did you go live with me snoring?" I said, "I certainly did." She goes, "Take that video down. How dare you?" All right, folks. So what we have, this is JLR. I don't know where he's driving at. I'm going to find where they found the glove here. The glove. Let's see here. Glove. Found. Hold on, guys. Give me a minute here. All right, here we go.
County receiving some 4,000 calls just in the last 24 hours. That totals up to about 18,000 of calls they've received, potentially trying to assist some of the public in this. And FBI on the ground there is potentially looking into new leads around this as they're canvassing the area. And potentially they could also have found some new information. Fox News on social media talking about a black glove being found along the road near Nancy Guthrie's home. Officers were seen removing the glove from a brush before placing it into a bag. And notably, the FBI surveillance showed an individual wearing gloves, a ski mask, a long shirt, and also a backpack. So obviously that could be potentially another breakthrough for all of this. And this comes after someone individual was detained last night. And then earlier on today, TMZ received another email from somebody demanding money, this time claiming it has information about Nancy Guthrie.
We're going to talk about the DNA. Hold on, guys.
To contact the victim's children. So very interesting. Let's take you out to this. Harvey Levin was on Fox News earlier on today with that. Speaking to that, let's play this out for you.
Let's listen to Harvey. Whoops.
Original letter. You did not receive a second letter where another affiliate did. So by my count, that's 2 letters. And you now report that TMZ has just been sent a third letter. Please explain and describe what you got about 90 minutes ago.
So an hour and a half ago, we got kind of a bizarre letter, an email from somebody who says they know who the kidnapper is and that they have tried reaching Savannah's sister Annie and Savannah's brother to no avail. And they said they want 1 Bitcoin sent to a Bitcoin address that we have confirmed is active. It's a real Bitcoin address. As they put it, time is more than relevant. So we have no idea whether this is real or not, but they are making a demand. It's interesting that, Bitcoins fluctuate in value, but it's around $56,000 now, 1 Bitcoin, which is about the amount that the authorities are offering for information leading to the return of Nancy. So I don't know if that aligns.
60,000, yeah.
Whoever sent this, and they actually give a name and an email address, but whoever sent this is asking for around that amount via Bitcoin for information that they say leads directly to the
Okay,
person.
let's take it as
That is a big development. An email this time coming in, not necessarily a note to TMZ about saying someone has
Just bringing everybody up to date. I know a lot of you've heard this already. I just want to bring the new viewers up to date.
On the ground, the FBI continuing to canvass the area. We know a potentially black glove was recovered by authorities. Let's bring into the conversation right now TMZ executive producer Michael Babcock. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. Let's talk first about that email TMZ received about potentially trying to have Bitcoin sent to them about information leading to this kidnapper. What do we know right now?
Hey, Andy. Yeah, so it was about 4:54 to be precise this morning when, much like that ransom letter, which we still don't know whether it was legitimate or not, but when the ransom letter came in 8 days ago now, so it comes in to a shared email box that a lot of us here, the producers and reporters, have access to, and it essentially says that this person is claiming
I agree,
to have
ABC.
information about the captor or captors. And Andy, they say, I have tried to, this is them claiming here now, that they have tried to reach out to Savannah's brother and to her sister via email and text to no avail. And because of that, they said, I'm reaching out to you guys, and I am essentially selling the name of, again, the identity of the captor for the cost of 1 Bitcoin is what they said. Now, if you look, a Bitcoin is about $67,000 the last I checked. So somewhere in that ballpark. And if that amount was to then be paid, presumably they are saying they would turn over the identity of that captor.
Yeah, it's interesting because the FBI has an amount out there already that
I wanna
would
see the
lead to
glove.
the arrest of potentially some.
The reality is that information, obviously, that's time to sell.
kind of protocols.
Yeah, constantly kept anything that we could do to help them find out who sent these, then we've done it. But yeah, not too much, unfortunately, on from our standpoint, Andy.
Yeah, my last question before I let you go, Michael, because this is day number 11 of the search for the 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie.
On leads, and hopefully it brings them to whoever's responsible. The one thing I would say is,
Hold on, guys.
That ransom letter initially, Andy, there was a debt.
Hold on 1 second.
This season, you've got places to go, people to see, and things to do. You may have already gotten vaccinated for flu and COVID-19, but other respiratory...
Give me a second, guys. And we're going to talk about the glove. All right, so. This is from the New York Post. Here's the glove. There's that big. Whoops. The hell is that? Hold on. Having trouble here. Give me a second. All right, so random. All right, so this is a pretty big glove, guys. I mean, all joking aside, you can miss things, but you're talking 11 days, and here we go. We got this glove. It's pretty big, almost like a boxing glove, like the old. You know what it reminds me of? In my little bit of amateur boxing I did, one of those big ass gloves in the 70s and 80s. I mean, that's a big glove. So there's the glove that he had on here. Here's that glove. Now, the DNA. You mean to tell me they can't get the DNA off the inside of that glove? The sweat, the glands of the hand? And you mean to tell me they haven't checked Dick's Sporting Good? Is that still in business? Or Big Five? Or any of those, I don't know, Walmart, Target? I mean, come on. What the hell are we what is going on with this case, folks? This is bizarre. I mean, We're not talking like a little small glove. And it's sitting right there like that. Look how it's sitting on that. I don't know what you, cactus, whatever. Some weird desert plant, right? And DNA has to be there. It just doesn't make sense. I understand they don't want to tell us too much. I think this glove was planted, guys. I think somebody planted this glove. I really, really do. I'm not saying the people, the suspects, the people who broke into Nancy's house. I'm beginning to think now you're going to have these quote unquote trolls. I'm going to read some comments in a second here. I'm trying to. I think you're going to have some, and I don't mean trolls on here. I hope I didn't lose everybody. You know, I really think we're having now a quote unquote like somebody who wants some attention here. And let me tell you, if I'm right and somebody did this, they're going to face some charges too. I mean, I could be wrong. What's your thoughts, guys? Look how it's placed. Look at that. And, you know, in the desert, I live in Vegas. Wind comes out of nowhere. You can't predict wind. It could be like today, it was nice. The wind came. Adrian lives in Vegas. In Arizona, the same deal. Right? How the hell would that glove? Look at that. Somebody's playing the sheriff and the FBI. And they're just trying to buy some time to either go to Mexico or in Mexico or something else. It doesn't make sense. And it looks identical. What are we going to have next? You know? Will it be his hat? Something out of the backpack? Are you going to find some rope? You know, I just doesn't. This is so bizarre in so many ways. And I really do, guys. Welcome in. I really feel like this is one of those mysteries. You know, we watch. It's late on a Saturday night, a Tuesday night. We get tired of YouTube and Facebook, and it's that time to put on a movie, and you know it's a 2-star movie, but you watch it anyhow because you like the thumbnail, and you watch it, and it's like one of those movies. This is crazy. Everybody's saying it. It just doesn't. All of a sudden now the glove is found, and I'm sorry, but something's not adding up. Crystal, thank you. It is a police officer's glove. It's exactly the same type they wear. Crystal says, it's a police officer glove. I quote, in my opinion, it's exactly the same type they wear. So now, if that's true, and then what? Do you start looking at the local police department? It's just so many twists. I mean, you can't even say a twist. It's just bizarre. All right, let's see what's going on here with, let's see where JLR is going at here. He's driving somewhere. I don't know where he's going. Where's JLR going at here?
We'll take a walk. We'll do another walk.
He wants to take a walk. There's a $60,000 reward on this too. $60,000 reward. So hopefully whoever finds any evidence
Nighttime walk. I got the
gets that money.
Where's my flashlight? Here it is. I got the
Could be, Crystal. Very well could be. Very well can be.
Woo, it's cold out here when that sun goes down.
He's cold. He's cold.
Foods using unique ingredients, things like kelp. Shopify provided us.
Oh, you went to Andy's house? Sorry, Heavy Hook. I was looking at my iPad. You went back to Andy's house? Thank you. Thank you. Whoops. Sure enough, we have a commercial. Welcome in, everybody. What do you think? What do you think about that Carlos guy? Let's see if I'm trying to. That light's glaring there. Hold on. Hold on. See what we got here.
Annie and Tommaso's home.
Yeah, I'm about 60-40. Someone said Mexican cartel. Welcome in, Joey. Back to Nancy's house at nighttime. Look how dark it is there, guys. He's using the headlights of his car, I believe.
What really happened at this home?
So he's at night where most of the media, there might be a few media there. Hello, Pamela. He went back to this home, excuse me, Nancy Guthrie.
Any action here? Only what I see.
So you got some of the local media and some YouTubers here. This is JLR we're watching. Just want to put that out there. And he's back at Nancy's house. Thanks to Heavy Hook to notify us. What we have here, guys, is so many things have went upside down. Hello, Enid. Happy birthday. Everybody say happy birthday to Enid. Today's your birthday. 21 years old. 21 years old. Birthday. 21 years old. The dog deceased.
For the javelinas. There's javelinas out here. There's coyotes out here.
You hear the guy, there's coyotes out there.
Let me just go out this way real quick. Because authorities are asking.
Pamela says happy birthday. Heavy Hook says happy birthday there, young lady.
Now say a body's buried around here.
Good point, Crystal. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's the glove I want to talk about. I mean, no disrespect to JLR. We'll be right back to you, my friend. You keep doing your great reporting. Hold on.
And the brush just off the road. The implication.
Susan, happy birthday. Happy 66.
Discarded by somebody driving.
Happy birthday, Enid and Susan.
Neighborhood. Now, it is not confirmed at this point that the gloves, you see some of them being found.
Glove. There's the glove. Right there. Heavy Hook.
Indeed connected. And of course, they could have been discarded.
Whiskey Tango. Thank you for the gift.
At any point. But if they were to be connected, it obviously would prove to be a big break. And there are some similarities between the gloves found and the gloves worn by the person who we saw on that doorbell camera video trying to break into Nancy Guthrie's home in the early hours of Sunday
Crystal
morning,
says, look
February
very close.
Around
Police
the
officer
time
gloves.
Nancy Guthrie went missing. In the meantime, we saw today also investigators searching the area directly around Nancy Guthrie's house once again. And curiously, at one point, they moved out the media from directly across the street from Nancy Guthrie's house. That struck us as being rather strange in that the media has now been there for 9 days and would have trampled all over any evidence. So why did they not do that a long time ago?
I just said that.
And then finally, Sean, we also saw two men at Annie Guthrie's house
New suspects.
today. Now, remember, Annie Guthrie is Savannah's sister, the other daughter of Nancy Guthrie. Now, those two men brought two bags out from Annie Guthrie's house, one that looked kind of like a trash bag, the other that looked like a shopping bag. Now, we could not see any badges on those two men, that neither were they carrying guns, so we don't know if they were indeed agents investigating the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, or indeed whether they may have been sent there by the Guthrie family to pick up perhaps some of Annie Guthrie's belongings. So a lot of questions still tonight, Sean, and the biggest question of all remains completely unanswered at this hour. Where is Nancy Guthrie? Sean?
All right, Jonathan, thank you for that report. We'll check in with you later in the program. Joining us now, Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett, former FBI special agent and Fox News contributor Nicole Parker.
Well, I don't want to mess with this woman here. Look at her.
Paul,
Oh, I don't want to come across her.
Nicole, I'll start with you. So we have Okay, we've got the gloves, we've got the third letter.
Woo, she looks like she's
foothills. Let me
pissed.
go to the gloves. Interesting. It's an hour. It's about a mile and a half away from that home. I checked the temperature that night. The lowest it got was in the mid 40s. Okay. A friend of mine just texted me, I wonder, maybe Nancy Guthrie, maybe because this guy's been so meticulous and so careful, it seemed so well planned out, maybe Nancy Guthrie had the gloves and threw them out the window. Who knows? Not a bad theory.
Who knows? I mean, there are many questions that are out there, and I think this is a key thing that the FBI will certainly be honing in on. And I'll just make a brief comment. Everything will be treated as something until it is proven to be nothing. So these gloves, they're going to treat it as this is very, very important, and they will send those off to Quantico. They will do a full analysis, a forensic analysis for prints, for latent prints, for DNA, and anything that they
DNA, there you go.
derive off of those gloves. And they will treat them as if they could potentially solve the case. And again, we do not know. They may end up being nothing. They may have no relation, but they will treat it as something until it is proven to be nothing.
Oh, and a mile and a half away from the home, not particularly cold weather, Greg.
I'm
Jarrett.
sorry, I said a mile and a half. I
Suspicious
apologize.
in my mind.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. And
I think so,
as I
Pamela.
said last night, not every promising
Summer
lead,
Sweet Tea, welcome in.
pans out. And sometimes we're disappointed when our hopes are up. And that was the case last night with a detained man for questioning and then let go. It was a dead end. But you don't give up. And I think this is another potential promising lead. And yes, they will send it off for DNA. Then if they get a hit on DNA, they'll put it into their crime analytics, the database, and hopefully get an identity. If not that, maybe they'll be looking for trace evidence that connects the glove to the home itself, something inside there, or maybe the kidnapped victim, Nancy Guthrie. On the other hand, it could just be the usual debris you see driving down a road, and it's on the side there. But those are pretty thick, heavy gloves.
Good point, Crystal.
For Arizona.
Another good point.
So that's rather curious. The other lead, though, I still think is the video camera, Sean, because yes, you can't see the face; it's disguised, but you can see so much more. You can see the height of the intruder, his stride, his gait, his posture. But more than that, you can see what he's wearing. And Harvey Levin's right. There seem to be unique features on that backpack, and there are computer programs. You give them a picture, they can tell you what tree that is, what flower that is, with specificity. They can do the same with articles of clothing. What about the bite light? I mean, how many people buy bite lights that he was using to free up his hands, but so that he could see the doorbell camera and fiddle with that in a very amateurish way? So I'm sure for all of those articles of clothing and device, they are searching stores in the Tucson area, but also importantly, Amazon and any deliveries of those items that were made in that region.
Forgot about
And
Amazon.
so the video camera is very, very good, but there's a downside to it because when the video was released, suddenly 4,000 tips came pouring in. And you've got to
In 1 hour.
the seemingly
4,000
legitimate
tips
ones
in 1
from the
hour.
Crank, and that is a Herculean effort.
Paul Ciolino, you're a former homicide detective. We really only had our big break in this case yesterday. That's not a lot of time. Obviously, every lead is being followed up on. Greg is 100% right. They probably got 4,000 tips today from people. They've got to track down every one of them. It's not an episode of Dateline. You don't get it to the end of the hour and you have your suspect in hand. Where do you think the investigation is now, especially with the development? They're searching the foothills. They found the
I agree,
gloves,
Michelle.
the third letter sent to TMZ, although it seems somewhat unrelated, asking for 1 Bitcoin. That was odd to me.
Sean, forget the letters. They're all extortion attempts. They're all nonsense.
That's the
They're
sister.
going to solve this case from
Could
a
be.
tip and electronically, i.e. phones, cell phone towers. Some ex-girlfriend, ex-wife's going to call in on this guy and go, I know who that is, and this is where he lives, and this is, the kind of people he hangs out with, et cetera, et cetera. They're going to do the background. They're going to heat it up on him, and they're going to grab him. And what they want to know is who put you up to this? Who sent you? And he's going to give them up in, I don't know, about 15 minutes because he's looking at a death penalty probably. Then the second thing is that glove they found today was not by accident. They're up on somebody's phone and they're meticulously following routes that this person traveled in via the cell phone data that they've received so far. Now, I don't know what person this is, but they didn't find them gloves by, oh, look what we found on the side of the road. They found them because they were following an electronic pattern. And they didn't get lucky. That was great police work finding them, those 2 gloves. That's huge.
Not 2 gloves. I thought it was 1 glove. Did I miss something, guys? I thought it was 1 glove.
Nothing in there. And I've worked so many cases.
2 gloves?
You're not going to find fingerprints inside the gloves almost 9,000 times out of 9,001. But you will get DNA if the exposure to the elements wasn't too bad, that they were, kind of not bothered.
I thought it was 1 glove.
There's a lot that
I
goes
heard
into
1,
it.
yeah.
And the FBI science people.
Maybe he
there
made a
isn't
mistake.
anyone in the world that's doing this. If it's there, they'll dig it out. But sometimes it's just not.
Well, it looks like it's just laying there. It looks like it hasn't been disturbed. It looks like it was just left. So obviously we're hopeful there might be that DNA evidence, fingerprint, whatever it happens to be. Anyway,
You still got to match it, Sean.
Cialino. Agreed. I'm not saying any of it is easy. Thank you. Nicole Parker, thank you. Greg Jarrett, thank you. Okay, we'll have more on the search for Nancy Guthrie. That's coming up.
All right, guys. So what we're watching here, even though JLR is doing an incredible job, I don't want to put both voices on here for any kind of problems. He's back at Nancy Guthrie's house at nighttime. He's basically showing on how, I guess he's all finished. So he's all finished. So what we're going to do here, he's finished. The guy's tired. The guy's been out there doing great work. So let me just say this. I've never worked for law enforcement. Most of us on here, I don't know, anybody on here has worked for law enforcement. I would say this. That glove was sitting just like that. 11 days. Correct me if I'm wrong. 10, 11 days. Again, if we're just coming in, I'm repeating myself because we have some new viewers coming in. It gets a little windy. That glove would move. I'm not saying pick that glove up and move it a mile unless it was like a 100-mile-per-hour wind. But the glove would move by now. That glove was planted there by who? In the chat. Finish the sentence. That glove was planted by who? Who put that glove there? Who put it there? Was it the person in the mask? Who put that glove right in that area? That's what I want to know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the big screen and we're going to get Fox and Hannity. Cops, FBI, Brian says. Antifa. Who put it there, guys? Who put that glove there? We're going to go to Fox on the big screen, guys. Hold on. Oh, hold on. What we got over here? Hold on. Who put that glove there? What we got here? Hold on. I know it's dark, guys. I don't want to show the glares. Why? You don't need to see me. All right, hold on. You don't need to see me. Let's see what we got here. All right, we'll wait for Hannity. All right, we got a little light. Let me put the phone here. All right, so what do we know, guys? Who put that glove? Guys, that glove was sitting there too nice. We've seen it many times now, right? And so I want to go back, if we could, for those who are coming in. The guy named Carlos, I'm not going to give out his last name. Matter of fact, this will be the last time I say his name. Carlos, that's it. Because I feel that my opinion, and I can be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll come out and say I'm wrong. I don't think that guy had anything to do with it. I think they say he was a delivery man. Why was he looking at somebody else's home that wasn't even near Nancy? Now, if he was near Nancy's neighborhood, I don't know. Maybe they need to go look why he's looking at somebody's house. Maybe they can get him for trespassing. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. We don't know. But he looked too calm. There's no way in hell somebody can be that calm. I don't care how good you are. If he did that crime and he took this lady's life or he put her somewhere And there's no way. And they let him go pretty rapidly. And we see all the news coverage. There's nobody back at this. I almost caught myself. I had to catch myself. They're not back at this man's house. So I'm going to rule him out. So we're going to scratch Carlos out. I said it. We're going to cross him out. Now, the black gloves, you heard what that panel said. I think he's a retired FBI. Almost impossible to get fingerprints, but there's a good chance of a DNA. Now, I'm sure they've analyzed them. They're probably, as we speak, around the clock. They're going to go ahead and look at them. And the question will be, will we have an answer tomorrow on those gloves? As Crystal alluded to, they look like police gloves. They could. To me, they look like some old boxing gloves. But in any event, I still think somebody planted that. But I don't think it's the person who did the crime. I got to be careful with my words here, but I think somebody else did that. And they're going to face a fine. Indeed, that is. Now, it also could be that person who did it, who went in and kidnapped Nancy, could have been that stupid and threw it out. But then, you know who else is stupid? Would be the police and FBI, because how the hell can 11 days go by and not see that glove? All right, so that's it with the glove. Now, we're going to move on. There was a note to TMZ for one Bitcoin, approximately between 50,000 and 60,000. And that is the reward that they want to give out to anybody leading to the investigation. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of fazools. It's kind of weird that the 60,000 is 60,000. Also, it could be the FBI putting that money in to get bait. You know, it's just a possibility. And so could be the FBI putting that money in the, what do they call it? The wallet. They call it the wallet, the personal wallet. I don't know. I don't have Bitcoin. So we got that. Then we got the two guys that they said they don't know if they're FBI that went into Tommaso's house. Assuming they're not FBI, who are they? Well, that becomes two more suspects if it's not the FBI. They didn't see any badges on them. And I was watching JLR and some other YouTubers, and a lot of them said the same thing. They're suspicious. So we have that now. Crazy. Then, the fact that the media was, hold on. Sorry, guys. Then I got some guests here. Then we have one more thing, guys, and then we can all kind of discuss this together. Be free to discuss and chat among each other. Welcome in on this Wednesday. And I don't work until 12 tomorrow, so if you guys want to stay up late, we'll go a little late. All right, so then we got, last but not least, the media coverage. I still think, I haven't heard anybody say this, if you arrive, if I would go there, and if I would drive there now 6 hours away and go there with my phone, my tripod, all that stuff, I would hope they would say, who the hell are you? You know, who are you? Can you show us something? You know, we need you on this side. What's your name? Oh, I'm here. I have a YouTube channel. Okay. Yeah. They're not really, I mean, how do they know that this suspect's been throwing us off? How do you know they're not having one of the media or somebody drive by, riding a bicycle? We see bicycles there and everything. They have not, that I know of, questioned anybody. And then, last but not least, they made the media finally remove them from that side of the street, not for good, just for about an hour or two, I'm assuming an hour or two, to search that area. They never searched that area, folks. Stay with me. They never went on that side. They just completely forgot about it. Or maybe they didn't. You know, maybe I'm just being too hard. Maybe they did check, and now it's time to check it again before the media cover it. There's like 100 to 200 different news outlets and independent journalists and YouTubers and this, that, whatever there. So a lot of things are just so, in my opinion, are going wrong. It's so amateur. So very amateur. From the sheriff, from the FBI now. I mean, I don't get it. And no press conference. Not that we need to know anything, but I would assume if they had a press conference and somebody is watching this, you know, it might make an error. maybe they'll screw up. No press conference. So a lot of things, in my opinion, it just don't make sense here tonight at all. At all. Mike says maybe it's the whole family in on it. Yeah, Crystal has said that a couple days ago, and I think a lot of people have mentioned that. Let me turn off the. Let me move the camera. Let me just turn off the one device here. It could be the whole family too. I mean, whole thing. I'm sure they're certainly still looking at this Tommaso, Sione, and Annie. And Annie, right? All right, just want to turn my device off. Okay. Yeah, it looks like Fox has had, I think Fox has completed their segment for now. Tommaso. I'm still thinking I would think they're taking a very close, paying a very close attention. But then again, oh, and they were there today too, according to some of the local media and JLR. They were there again at Tommaso and Annie's house. Why are they keep going back there over and over? You know, are they just forgetting? I mean, come on, they've been there now at least probably 4 times. They've been there now, at least 4 times. So think about that. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, there's not even that much news coverage tonight on it. You know, I hope I'm wrong, folks. Man, I really hope I'm wrong on this. I hope this is not going to be one of those cold cases. I hope it's not going to be one of those situations where it gets cold, the media leaves, you know, we get on to another story. Life does go on. I know it's sad. And I hope I'm wrong, but it almost sounds like that this could be one of those cases where it can go on heavy hook for 2 weeks, a month, or even longer. And then the media kind of just like, I mean, you're talking like there's a couple of YouTubers out there. I mean, it costs money in the hotel there. An average rate I checked into about $1.50, $1.40, $200. And then you have your local media that's being paid for, but even then, different stories are going to break. So I hope it doesn't go on 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, or longer, and we just don't know. God, I hope not. Yeah, that's exactly who they are. Thank you, Heavy. Let's see here. Billy. Hold on, let me read Billy. Billy worked in a maximum security prison 10 long years. During the mid-'80s and early '90s. First of all, Billy, thank you for your service. And thank you for what you did. Yeah, you know, it just, I mean, you followed up with another comment. Hold on, Billy. No way the officers sent to sleep. Where are the 2 officers now? And why didn't people looking for the interviews? Yeah, great point. Great point. High five, fist bump. Great point. I love these lives, guys. Unbelievable. Yeah. So there you go. Excellent point. Andy, welcome in. Jordan, I tell you, I would go, but and my wife's listening. Valentine's Day is very important to your wife, your girlfriend, some husbands. It's very important. Me too. Valentine's Day. And it's my son's birthday on Valentine's Day. That poor kid. Valentine's Day. Girlfriend. He's got to. Anyhow, I would, but, you know, families first, and I mean that. Families first. And I already got in a little trouble by bringing it up. So, but if it wasn't for that, I 100% would be driving 6 hours in my Jeep, and I'd be there with lots of coffee and all of you guys and cover it. All right. Let's see here. After Valentine's Day, I can pause my business for a little bit. A lot of my clients are patient and they're very supportive, and they even told me they would help me out if I needed any help in any kind of way. So after Valentine's Day, but you know what? Let's hope that let me be perfectly clear that they can find Nancy or find a body at this point, and that it's over. But you know, last night, guys. Sorry, when I'm looking up, guys, I'm looking up at the TV in front of me to see if we got anything on it, anything breaking here. You know, last night, yes or no, a lot of you were on here last night. Didn't we think last night? I mean, we really thought, I did. When I put my head on that pillow, I was out, guys. Were you guys? I don't know if you guys continue on. I went out. I watched a little bit more of JLR and a couple of, I thought that I'd wake up tonight and I wasn't sure we were going to have a body or anything, but I figured we'd have a suspect. Well, I was thinking we'd have another suspect or some more information. When I heard about that individual, that man, that they broke down his door, I said, oh man, what happened here? So, but here we are, almost back to square one. The only thing we have to go on now is a glove. A glove. Yeah. And you know what, guys? I'm just giving you my opinion. That's what's great about lies. Everybody has an opinion. If you ask 20 people in here right now, you're going to get probably 20 different response. You know what I mean? I just don't think that's the glove from the man at the door. It just looks too clean where it was placed. You know, if it was in the marsh, it was kind of washed up, I might believe it. I might believe a little bit. I still wouldn't be convinced, but I was, maybe. But to find it placed just like that, right after we seen the video, I don't buy it. I think these people, I'm giving it, I sound like I'm going to give them credit, but they're good. These people are good. Let me tell you something right now, folks. They're good. Let me get a little light. Hold on. What we got here? Hold on, Hannity. Hold on. Let me get a little light. I think these people are good, man. You know how he walks like this? You know, he's walking like that with the mask on. You know, he's walking like that. Then it's again, we all heard it on the news, right? If I was going to go into somebody's house and do something, you would walk up, your plan, you would make sure the cameras are not working, all that stuff. I wouldn't go get some weeds or plants and say, oh, wait a minute. Oh, shit, there's a camera. I mean, seriously, guys, it pisses me off. You know, I'm just getting old, I guess. Man, I guess I'm getting old. It just doesn't make sense. It's horrible. You don't go get some plants and cover it up. You're already set for it, Palon. You're already prepared. Dawn. You know? And then he goes back and he shows the gun. He shows the gun. It's almost like he wanted to see the gun. It's on the left side. No. So many things. There's the glove. Oh, I can put the volume up watching Fox.
A former homicide investigator, John Chell, earlier in the program, he said it's often difficult, which is a little surprising for me, to get fingerprints from a glove, but DNA is very possible. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. This is
that's what I've heard.
Huge development.
Yeah, John Chell.
This is a huge development, the glove. This is going down to Quantico. Hopefully the DNA is what's called suitable for comparison. And if so, in a great world, we'll get
almost, Joey.
Hit. If not, we'll get a profile If we get a profile, we have something to work with forensics they have picked up. There is a chance tomorrow that this could be a direct hit to someone we're looking for. The last night we lost a great lead. We thought we had something good last night. If you've done investigations long enough, you run into roadblocks. But you continue
Look at
to
the thorns.
marshal the evidence. You continue to assign evidence to people to vet. And now between the backpack and this glove, we have some good, strong leads here. And I agree, the momentum.
Do we have
continues,
strong leads in the
FBI
chat?
and the local
We have 300 in the chat. Do we have strong leads? Yes or
What
no?
are they telling you on the ground? You talk to law enforcement there.
Well, they're not sharing much with us other than they have leads, and they're talking. We heard the director Patel earlier say that they've got persons of interest, which means that they're following up on a lot. Since
Bullshit.
the posting of that video, which was remarkable, and I think the agency needs
Maybe,
to be
Joey.
applauded for that.
Maybe a
work,
cold
that they were
case.
able to find that, and that it is so helpful. They've been drinking from a fire hose with the amount of leads that they've received, over 4,000.
I just want to apologize, guys. I just caught myself. Guys, I call myself out right now.
Of resources that they
You
have
ready?
out here, it's going to take a lot of time.
Crystal knows me. I'll call myself out. I have no problem calling myself out. You know when I just said a few minutes ago that he was hunchback? Well, he's tall, and it looked like there was he had to go down. So, I was wrong on that. So I was wrong. He wasn't, acting weird on that. So, stupid me. But nonetheless, you get some plants. That don't make that's just crazy. They're on a little break here. Then we'll go back. It's the tomatoes. It's the tomato, the ketchup, the tomatoes, the basil. Yeah. Who planted the glove? Who planted the glove? Somebody says. Exactly. Will we find out tomorrow? I disagree with that. The panel there with Hannity. I disagree. That glove was planted. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. I grew up with some bad guys. Let's just say that. I grew up with some guys who didn't do some good things. Some of them came out and they did some good things for themselves and other people. I'm not proud, but on streets and stuff. And that glove, there's no way in hell that size, as Crystal alluded to earlier, looks like a police glove, in her opinion. To me, it looks like a boxing glove. To be planted there with those thorns and cactus, whatever the hell you call them, just nicey nice like that. Again, I could be perfect. I could be 100% wrong, and we can wake up tomorrow morning or tonight, probably tomorrow, and man, bullseye. That'd be great. Hey, we got DNA. It is fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. We wake up tomorrow. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, great news. DNA is whoever. I hope I am wrong, but now. I hope that it's not, man, should I even say? I better not. All right, let's continue. I was going to say some, but I'm going to bite my tongue. Let's continue on. Valentine's Day. Real soon. Well, I'd be driving there. I would be picking up a few of my investigation team like Crystal and Barber and Heavy Hook. I'd bring a couple cigars for Heavy Hook. I'm just kidding. Got to have a little, at the same time, guys, let's keep, my wife got a little upset at me last night before she was snoring. She goes, hey, take it serious. Take it serious. She said, I am taking it serious. But, little humor. We truly, pray and hope that this beautiful woman, they can find her alive. But, I'd be there. But Valentine's Day, that's important. If I say it one more time, my wife's going to come in here and turn the live off. I already know my wife. Been together for 30-some years, 35 years. Annie and Tommaso are creepy to me. Somebody says. Tish. Yeah, I will say this. I don't know about the creepy. Something's not adding up with them. Got a good husband. That's a good man there. So creepy maybe, but something's not right. But you know, guys, I'm sure they're really. Why are they going back over and over, just like I say it over and over, back to Tomasi's house, Tomasi? And, you know, and again, this Bitcoin, for the viewers that are coming in, they're playing us with that, man. They're good, weren't they? They had some of us believing. I know some of you are saying, not me. I never believed it. I did. I'm speaking for myself. I did. I know a lot of you are saying, Sal, we never believed in the Bitcoin. I did for a little bit. So.
News anytime, every time, all the time. Just go to foxnews.com. You can go to Hannity.com. And in the meantime, let not your heart be troubled. Greg Gutfeld is next. He'll put a smile on your face. Have a great night.
I can't. You know who I don't like on Fox? Anyhow, I could say it. Why won't you see what you get? Golffield. It gets on my nerves, but I get on my own nerves. Hold on. Got it right here. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Let me get new. See if we got some new updates. I don't think we're going to hear anything. Man, I hope this case doesn't go. Oh, here we go. We got News Nation.
Nancy's home as a third.
Got to say it for copyrights. News
Has
Nation.
been revealed. Unlike the others, this new note isn't offering Nancy's return
News
in exchange
Nation.
for the transfer.
Here we are.
It's offering the name of her abductor. Senior national correspondent Brian Entin is live on the ground in Tucson, Arizona, with the breaking developments. Brian.
Speaking of Brian, yeah, you agree?
Yeah, Katie, a couple of things happening tonight.
Got a couple
First of all,
Brians.
you mentioned that a glove, a black glove was found about a mile and a half.
Yeah, see one glove.
Standing outside of Nancy Guthrie's house. This was
Man, Heavy Hook, we got to get together. Yeah, he just he's annoying to me.
There may have actually been a pair of gloves found out there. The FBI started ramping up their searches along the roads here in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood because so many more FBI agents have flooded in. So they were searching that area today.
I don't want to mess with her either.
The glove. It is a little strange.
O.J. Simpson did it. You want to hear a story about O.J., guys?
11 days.
Remind me about a story, Crystal, about O.J. before we all go to sleep. I'm going to tell you a true story.
Because so many more FBI teams now arrived and were able to start searching. Also new, Katie, TMZ.
Somebody thinks Brian's handsome.
The backpack that the alleged kidnapper was wearing in those surveillance photos. TMZ reporting that law enforcement has confirmed that backpack came from Walmart.
Oh!
Right there. And looks relatively new, by the way.
Walmart!
Which could be a big clue. Because you imagine behind the scenes right now, FBI trying to trace who bought a backpack recently, who bought those kinds of gloves recently, the same with the face mask, and at the same time going
Here's
through
Brian.
the brush here, trying to see if any of those objects were dropped and left behind.
Walmart! I didn't know that, guys.
Do you know anything else about the FBI search around Nancy and Annie's homes? I mean, it seems like they keep going back and forth to try and find new information in those locations, but are finding it in other places, as we know with the glove situation.
Yeah, Billy, hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, we saw a lot of action outside both houses today, Katie. Here at Nancy's house, there was an FBI team that came through. They actually moved the media back. They were searching where we normally have our cameras and in the brush behind that area. And then they were back at Nancy Guthrie's house, searching the front yard, searching the side yard, and the backyard. It's the first time I've seen them do that since very early on in the investigation. As for Annie's house, Savannah Guthrie's sister and daughter, it was interesting. There were two... we have video of this. There were two men who showed up. One of them was wearing gloves. They got out of a car. This is them right there. They looked like, let me go back to that video. They looked like...
Yeah, go back, please.
They got out of a gray SUV. One of them was wearing gloves. They went in the house for about 4 minutes.
Who's
they
that?
Came out with a brown paper bag. And then one of them actually checked the mailbox wearing the gloves. And then they were gone. 4 or 5 minutes, they were gone. And we asked, what law enforcement agency are you from? And they wouldn't respond, Katie.
Suspects.
And then did they talk to any kind of sheriff's deputy who's there outside the home to make sure that the right people are in and out of that property? We've had some problems with that over the course of the last 10 days of delivery people walking up, people from the media walking up, and then them trying to reestablish a crime scene when they get some kind of tip. And if they're taking things out of the house, it seems like
I think they're feds. These are feds.
Yeah, it's a good question. So what's happening out at the house is at Nancy's house, there's a deputy here all the time. At Annie's house, there's actually private security hired by the Guthrie family. So when these men showed up, and when I've seen law enforcement show up in the past, and I presume these are
Yeah, they're
law
going to get that
enforcement
receipt.
agents,
They're going to get the receipt.
The security guard seems
Walmart,
to
they're
know
going to
that
get
they're
the
coming,
receipt.
moves out of
Right.
the way, and lets them through. But there are eyes on both
Walmart
houses
has cameras, that's right.
24/7 at this point.
That's a good sign. All right, Brian Enton, thank you very much for that report. Be checking in with you throughout the night. Joining us now, Art DeClepto, Fair Border Security Advisor, Dan O'Shea, retired Navy SEAL commander and hostage negotiator, and Andrew.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news here. At least for me, it is. Walmart is where they got the backpack. Whoops, that's a pretty cool hat. Walmart. So as the receipt. If they used a credit card, if it was currency, cameras, this is big. But then again, guys, we got real confident last night and they got the wrong suspect, or to this point, he's innocent. But if it is true, if you guys want to listen to the panel, I can shut up. I just like to talk. I don't want to let them talk too much, and I get kind of have a copyright problem. So, Walmart. They will be on camera buying those items as well. Yes, Mike. Yes. So, wow. So this just came in. This just came in now. So the backpack, not the gloves, not the glove, but the backpack now was purchased at Walmart. At Walmart. Interesting. And as Heavy Hook said, receipt and cameras, as Mike says, and a video surveillance, as somebody else said. So we might be getting a little closer. Well, that's pretty good news for a change. You know, Billy, I've been wanting to talk about that and so many other things. But that needs to be talked about. KK 1974 was a great year, by the way, KK. Good point. Great point. The glove most likely came to Walmart as well. Maybe. You would think, KK. I'm thinking about it as, I read your comment and we're going on and on. You would think, KK, yeah. I'm just responding to KK. You would think. Now, again, guys, this is, hold on. TMZ, another new, is there another new note? Wait a minute. TMZ, no, it's the email from that Bitcoin that we talked about for $60,000 or $50,000 Bitcoin, one Bitcoin. The gloves. So the glove. If the glove is from the alleged that the man in that photo we see over and over, then yes, there's a possibility he got the glove there too. Or, I know me, KK, when I go camping and I need something, sometimes I like to go to the super Walmart. Anyhow, and I'll buy one or two things there and I can't find something else and I'll go to, Home Depot, whatever. But yeah, at least they know now Walmart for the backpack. I hope they find the DNA on the glove. Eileen. Yes, I think they should. Eileen, they should, right, guys? They should. The thrift store, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're going to check all those stores, man. I think this is this is good. This is good. We're finally getting somewhere. I don't want to see this case go cold. Michelle, man, you guys are really good. I mean that. I'm not just saying it. Michelle, really good. I believe some family did something shady, so Nancy had Yeah. Tommaso has the power of attorney. Yeah, I've heard that too. But and I believe it's still him, but you still got to have DNA. And at this point, and then you still need a body to put the slam dunk. So you need the DNA and then hopefully the body. DNA, body. Gloves from a heavy duty store. Yeah, I mean, this is breaking. This is broke right here on News Nation. That they for those who are coming in here, they purchased the backpack from Walmart. And I forget the name of that backpack. Trail something? Help me out. Anybody? What was the name of that backpack? They said it earlier and I forgot. Trail something. It's a camping name. Camping. I should know this. I really should know this because I have not a backpack, but I have some stuff. I forget the name. Billy says, I believe they already have the body because the family has heard from the ransom. You know what, Billy? Maybe. That's another good point. Sue, how are you? Ozark, Mike. Thank you. Ozark. Yeah, I have some stuff. Ozark. I have some stuff from Ozark. Pretty good. So yeah, that was the backpack. I was asking a question in case I lost everybody. The backpack was Ozark, and it was from Walmart. I'm enjoying reading these comments here. Do you think the masked person is a male or female? A male. I think it's a male. That's what I think. Because I always like to go for when I first looked at it, boom, it's like a man. Not because they kept on saying a man. I just see a man. I see a man in that photo. I'm answering somebody's question on that mask. The new, hold on. Is this a new note? Wait a minute.
Exchange for the name of the individual
Wait a minute.
involved in Guthrie's disappearance. This is now the third note in the case.
Oh, yeah.
And the demands for Bitcoin
It's the third
payments
note.
are raising questions like, can it be traced by investigators? How is it different than
Summer, I don't know Summer Sweet Tea.
Let's bring in Bezalel Eitan Ravid.
Whoops.
He's a Bitcoin forensics expert.
This
and
guy's an
CEO of
expert in
the
Bitcoin.
Network. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's great to have you. So, people are seeing this demand in Bitcoin.
We appreciate you and having you, Sue, on behalf of me and Maribel and everybody on here. Thank you.
This is being trying to be resolved in Bitcoin, that the abductors or the people involved, or at least say that they're involved with these ransom.
Guys, I'm not doing it on purpose. I can't get this to go.
Cash, for example.
What the hell? Okay.
Because they understand law enforcement vulnerability. Blockchain technology has been with us for a while now, and crypto is being used for about 14 years. And law enforcement did not take the necessary, I would say, adaptation to understand blockchain enough.
Interesting, Heavy Hook. I always go for my first.
Prefer to use and utilize
Whiskey Tango dropping a beautiful heart once again, sponsoring today's live. Shout out to Whiskey Tango. We appreciate you, my friend. Floating hearts everywhere.
Criminals have taken note, and here we are.
What do you make of the amount of Bitcoin, the small amount that was put into the account that was in the second ransom note? Was that a way for law enforcement to try and kind of tickle the wire to see if the person involved here would maybe expose themselves? What do you make of that amount, given that it wasn't what was demanded? And
Mark dropping a bomb. Heavy Hook dropping some donations here. Forget about it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Don't have to do that. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. 100% helps out the homeless.
Here, there's a lot
Thank
of
you.
speculation that I cannot assess or analyze. There is a human intelligence that is not an area that we can, provide forensic evidence to. With blockchain,
Thank you, Kathy.
suggested to probe the wallet with a small donation, air quotes, to donations, which law enforcement has done.
Police glove,
9 days
maybe.
in. So there's a lot to be done because only with blockchain you can mine so much information.
I read your comment, Andy.
Position, IP, and so many other things that
Appreciate that, brother.
we can discuss.
Thank you, Heavy Hook.
Law enforcement, the federal law enforcement agencies in the United States.
This guy's rattling on about Bitcoin here.
the third parties they hire.
But you know what? Nonetheless, guys,
Specific.
That Walmart backpack, assuming they're correct, finally, that's big. That's big. Like everybody said on here, the receipts, the camera, all that stuff. Ozark, you know, the brand, credit card, probably use currency, but at least that's a pretty big lead. Yes or no? I think it's something. I think it's a lead. It's good. You know, there's no signs of breaking in. Do you think they had a key? You know, I thought I heard originally from that sloppiness sheriff that there was evidence they broke in, but I could be wrong. Assuming I'm wrong, or assuming I'm trying to think. Does anybody, wasn't something broken into? But here's my thing. Here's my theory. Why haven't we seen Nancy being out, coming out with Nancy? A back door left open. Okay. Jessica, thank you. That's right. The back door. Okay. So, and that's right. That's why they were saying it's that guy Tomasi. Sione. That's why they keep saying it's him. Yeah. And, I heard today from Fox or one of the news outlets about the camera, that they think that it was ripped off, and then I'm hearing that it was put back on and all this weird stuff. I mean, you can really let your... I heard the Clintons. I heard the whole thing with Clinton. That's really going kind of crazy. I did hear that, though, on somebody's YouTube podcast about the Clintons involved or this, that, whatever. I think sometimes what we do is we start to read way too much into it. Yeah, I think we're all going to be, we would all be shocked if it's not Tommaso. I think majority of us on here tonight, I would say probably 60% of us will be totally shocked if it end up being a not Tommaso, and it end up being somebody else, or maybe Annie herself. Could she have done this to her beautiful mom and Tommaso was not involved? I just want to throw that out there for everybody on here. Taz Big, thank you for your comment. Taz says, I don't think it's Tommaso. Welcome in, Taz. My wife agrees with you, by the way. Hey, Frank. Well, we're covering this Nancy Guthrie right now, but we have a lot of we help out the homeless on here each and every day. We have short clips and we help out the struggling people here in Las Vegas metropolitan, New Jersey, and but this last 7, 8, 9 days, 10 days, we've been covering this kidnap. Some great comments, guys. Some great. The eyebrows, mustache, yeah. Can't they remove the mask and know your man? I mean, the AI, they're assuming that the AI can but we seen that go wrong last night because they had the wrong persons at this point with the AI. All right. So let's see here what they're talking about, the panel here. So anyhow, guys, if you're just stepping in, we are covering the 11 days of this kidnap and ransom hoax. I think it's a hoax. And we're going over some of the update, but the biggest update is the Walmart. now that the backpack was purchased from Walmart. Now, whether it was somebody said it could have been ordered online, maybe. Regardless, whether it was ordered online or was in store or what do you call that? Curbside, I think it's called. Whatever, that's a trace. So whether it's receipt, credit cards, this, that, or maybe they put in somebody else's name, it is something. So this is pretty good. At least we're now finding out more about the backpack. Now we need to find out about that one glove. We need to find out about that one. What is this? A Mexican cartel drone threat? Straight. Oh, never mind. It's a story there. Back and forth. I'm reading comments. It's separate from this. Sorry. Well, the Uber driver, I think they felt very confident that the Uber driver, I'm sure, the Uber drivers all documented online. And how I know about that is I drove a little Lyft a couple years ago. Everywhere you go, it has the next ride. That's pretty easy to get. So I think the FBI felt very confident that Uber driver was either back home at that time or on another ride. So that's why he was ruled out. Was it a he? I think it was a he. He was ruled out pretty quickly. All right. Taz says the person on the video doesn't look like Tommaso either. Appreciate your comments. It's nice to have you, Taz. All right. Yeah, again, guys, there's 369 in here. Some of us are on the same page on some things, and some of us aren't, like the gloves. With the gloves, excuse me. One glove. I feel that the glove was planted. Most of you probably disagree. I think that person that they had yesterday, the Latin guy, I'm not going to say his name, I felt they made a mistake. Maybe he could get charged on something else. Some of you are half and half. Some of you might think it is him. I feel if the FBI is confident they made a mistake and they let him go not very quickly, but after 2 hours, and there's nobody around there that we know of. And also I'm not going to show it. I mean, unless you guys want to see it again, there's nothing there that feel that he's like, his words were pretty confident. It's not me. And I'm sure they have some evidence. I'm sure they checked out his cell phone. Think about this real quick. This man they had yesterday, I don't want to say his name. It's not right. And they broke down his door. They got to fix his door. But they checked his cell phone because you can't delete anything on your cell phone, guys, right? So they have checked his cell phone. They have asked his wife if he had a wife, I'm sure. They've probably checked different things in the car, the miles. I don't know. I'm sure they checked all into it. I believe they're confident it was not him. But the reason they thought it was him, I'll say this one more time, is because his eyes were identical or close or similar, whatever words you choose, to the person in the mask, A, and B, according to Fox and NBC, this individual was caught on video surveillance looking in a home, not Nancy's house, not anything even close to that neighborhood. I think it's 40 miles away. So he was driving south. So I feel they're going to have to probably rule him out. Hold on. Nicole says he is almost someone who knows the victim. Yeah, and I think was it Crystal or Heavy Hook or somebody said that earlier. So that's what I mean. Again, there's a 490 in here, and that's how it's crazy, on how everything about it from the beginning to the middle, and now we're getting somewhere, all in between. Oh, did he work in Tucson? I did not know this. Yeah, I just don't think it's him. But I've been wrong before. I'm just saying, I don't think so. Annie is involved somehow, according to Mary. Welcome in, Mary. So yeah, there you go. I mean, you get so many. The son-in-law works for the Clintons. Yeah, I read that. They said that nothing was taken from that. Everybody read that comment. Oh, Summer Sweet Tea, good comment. Read this comment, guys, real quick. I know you guys are all chatting among each other. It's kind of hard, but the chat's not going too fast. They said nothing was taken from Nancy's home, just Nancy. Nothing else was taken. Whoops. I was going to show you they were going to show the video again. Yeah, the position. But see, the position of the gun, I think they're trying to throw us off. Guys, I think, I'm probably just giving them too much credit. I think they're really just trying to throw everybody off. You know, and all of us, FBI, the sheriff, I think with the Bitcoin, the TMZ, to the local news outlet, from KOLD TV, CBS affiliate, from the Glove, I think they're just trying to buy as much time, 11 days, correct me if I'm wrong, to get away with the unthinkable. All because of money. Money involved. Somebody who knows that Nancy Guthrie had some money. Other than $1 million home, money. Or, I've said this before, what is this? Hold on. News Nation, National Security. Oh, okay. Or somebody who didn't like the Guthrie family at all. Savannah. It's somebody who had a Savannah, who's a reporter, who just didn't like something she said a month ago, a year ago, 4 years ago, and it was just their way to take, get back at her. We live in a very sick world sometimes, right? And you got some very crazy people with mental illness problems. So I just wanted to put that out there again. Heavy Hook said, let me read that comment. That's a good comment too. Hold on. Last night telling the media the person in custody, I quote, was to draw media away from the area. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a high five fist bump. Wow. Interesting. Jay says, a blank is the kidnapper. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm thinking about with Heavy Hook said, yeah. To draw the attention away, get all the media away, get all the police, the shit, all those away, and draw them over 45 minutes away. Wow, interesting thought. Jessica, yes, prayers, 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 deepest prayers, and our children, extended family. Amen. Yeah. Yeah, what's going to be, Jessica, you know what would be very difficult is two things. You know, in some ways, if they do find the body, first of all, amen, and deepest prayers, find the body alive. And in some ways, when she said celebration of life, even if they get Nancy home, find a body that has some closure, but what would be really bad than finding her unalive would be ending up as a family member being involved. Imagine if it's one of the family members or the brother-in-law, son-in-law of Nancy, brother-in-law of Savannah. I mean, that's got to be tough. That's something that it's going to be so sour in your stomach for not only a day, a month, a year. It's tough enough losing somebody. I mean, we've all lost somebody. I recently lost my mom. It doesn't matter if they're 80 years old, 84. But when you have somebody that does, whether it's an automobile accident, that shock, or in this situation, kidnap and knowing that it was a family member or a distant relative, I don't know how it would be very difficult. Now, only thing they have, not judging anybody on here, because I don't judge, and I truly mean that, is they believe and they have faith. They believe in the Lord, and they'll get through it, but it'll be a sour in their stomach knowing it was a family member. Okay. Hey, welcome in, Cohen. Somebody said, I think it's Savannah. We've seen that in the chat. Now, I don't think I've seen it tonight, but I've seen that a couple days ago. And I also have a client who thinks it's Savannah. Do you guys think it could be Savannah herself? I mean, with all this HD TV, 4K TV, and all this, and, I read people pretty good. I would be shocked if it was Savannah. I would be totally 100% shocked. Hold on. Never mind. They're talking about the Mexican cartel situation. I'd be shocked. Alex says, yeah, I'd be shocked if it was Savannah herself. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's broken. You can tell she's broken. Broken in so many ways. Just the face expression. But she would have to be a very, very good actress. Yeah. And so I would say 90% rule her out. All right. But I believe it is towards Savannah. Oh, yeah. It could be. It could be. I hate to twist this and put anything in your heads, guys. And please, chat among each other and disagree with me. I'm just saying it could be when you're a reporter, and I understand she was a good reporter, and you've done it for many years, even on these live streams, you're not going to make everybody happy. We talk a lot about politics, and eventually, somebody's going to hate you, and you would think that nobody would go to this extreme, but it's the world we live in sometimes. So I know hey, Chris, thank you so much. Chris 0426, thank you for the donation, appreciate it. But just wanted to put that out there. Oh, I wanted to talk about O.J. Simpson before I forget. So I used to be, a lot of you probably don't know, I boxed back in the day, and I'm a personal fitness trainer. And I used to train, I can say this, it's out there, it's on national news, it's on the news. I mean, it was O.J. Simpson. So I used to train the attorney of O.J. Simpson. His name was Gabe Grasso. Very good guy. Trained him for a while, and I got to meet O.J. Simpson, took him in, and he came in, and you know what I'm going to say? He was nice. He was very well-spoken, very quiet voice, and so it was like a one-time event, and to work with O.J. Simpson, and then it was like a year later, or a year and a half later, he got involved with the Powell Station Casino here in Las Vegas metropolitan area to go back and steal his merchandise that he sold, and then end up, we know the rest what happened. So, but the reason I bring that up is we were discussing the O.J. Simpson trial and what happened with the whole thing with the van and all that. I mean, in some ways, it's kind of bizarre, remember, because there's people to this day that think O.J. is innocent, and there's people who say, no, he's guilty. And so, but I heard earlier, and I think it was from Fox or Kash Patel, maybe it was Kash Patel himself. This is something we've never seen in the United States, exactly like it's happening now on this kidnap. It's happened, but not this many days. And as far as the ransom, it happened in Switzerland, I believe, and it was a note sent to the family. I think it's a type of O.J. Simpson deal again. Back in, yeah. I mean, I bring it up because it's like one of those bizarre, crazy cases that just continues. And again, I hope this doesn't go cold. But now we all kind of feel, at least I do, I'm being optimistic that the Walmart, if you're just coming in, the big update was from News Nation. Some of us on here seen it, the glove was indeed purchased from Walmart, whether it was online or pickup, they didn't really say, I don't believe. So now the next step would be the receipt, the cameras, and maybe they'll have a press conference tomorrow. Maybe they'll have a press conference tomorrow and they'll give the media information purposely so they can get into the person or the people, I still think two people, who did this, and they will make mistakes and maybe get so stupid and send a letter to one of the family members, to make it look. So we'll see. The backpack. Did I say the glove? The backpack. Yes, Jessica. They found, maybe I heard you wrong, the backpack. Backpack, not the glove. If I said the glove, sorry, guys. Backpack. The backpack was purchased at Walmart. Yeah. We just heard that about 30 minutes or less. Yeah, OJ was supposed to be in jail his whole life, and then he ended up passing away. The cartel is going to send a message. If my wife was in this room, she'd be high-fiving you because she still thinks it's something to do with like some kind of cartel. Again, we live in the same house, and we're like, all over this. All right. Yeah, I don't like to comment on something like that. Let's move on. I would say 100% of us are praying and hoping she's alive. Reading Whiskey Tango's message there. Yeah. Reading Billy's message here. Read Billy's real quick. They are putting... Absolutely. Yeah. Good comment. Yeah. I hope it's not one of those unsolved mysteries. Who said that? Brian. Yeah, I hope not. Hope not. I think... But again, I said this last night. I think most of us on here thought that we were going to, after we went off live, I thought most of us on here felt very strong that today would be the day we would have that big, huge step, that puzzle would have been put together or almost together and knowing who that person was. And they had the wrong person. So, I hope that we don't hear tomorrow, oh, well, the glove at Walmart, or excuse me, I keep saying the glove. The backpack. Oh, the backpack that was purchased at Walmart, it was not involved in this case. Boy, that would really be crazy. More crazy to the crazy, bizarre story. But I keep saying the glove because it just, I don't know, is it me or what? Why was it placed so just like that and we didn't see that glove? It's not like this happened yesterday or 2 days ago and they missed the glove. I'd be like, okay, I would still be wondering, but 11 days and nobody's seen that glove with all the authorities out there? Security? That security guy, I know he's getting paid. They all leave. His job is to secure the house. But even him, he's parked over there. I mean, the sheriff, the FBI, the media, nobody goes like this and looks down anymore. I don't know. It's just my opinion. People, I'm sure people walk their dogs over there. It wasn't like in the middle of the woods, guys. We're not talking like Maine or South Jersey. We're not talking like heavy woods. I know it wasn't even, as far as I know, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I think they said about a mile away, not too far. It wasn't like in the middle of nowhere. And then they find it all of a sudden. It don't make sense. Thank you. David, thank you. Doesn't make sense. Her phone was attached to the pacemaker. Hey, Michelle, thanks for your comments tonight. Son-in-law was taken out of the will. Someone has said. Yeah, so let's hope tomorrow that we get the same information we just heard about 45 minutes ago. That the backpack, I did it, Whiskey Tango, thank you. The backpack, not the glove. The backpack tomorrow will be, yeah, indeed, they'll say, hey, we got some new information. Yes, indeed, it was from the kidnapper. And hope that we'll get a name. We should get a name. I would think we should have a name by, I would assume tomorrow by this time, we should have a suspect in custody. There's no way that tomorrow by this time, not in the morning, but by this time at night, tomorrow we'll probably be live, that we'll be on here saying, and all the YouTube channels will be all lit up and saying they got him, or they got one person, or they'll have a press conference and saying we have a location or something. Hope that he's not in Mexico. Nobody said that in the chat. I'm just saying that to myself. My wife thinks he's in Mexico. Wife thinks he's in Mexico. What else we got? Let's see here. Veteran 61. First of all, anybody a veteran on here, and thank you for your service. God bless you and your family. Annie looks so suspicious and guilty. When her Savannah and her brother were pleading in the public, she kept on blinking in her eyes like that. And she couldn't even look at the mirror. I don't think he even talked. Yeah, interesting. I'm thinking about that as I read it. Chris, welcome in, Chris. Thanks for sharing that comment, Chris. Chris, member 0426. Hey, thank you, by the way, for the members. Appreciate it. I don't say that enough. So thank you once again for the memberships on here. Nancy is about 155 pounds. You're not carrying her far. Yeah. Great comments, guys. Really good stuff. And we're praying and praying hard, each and every one of us, that she's alive. That'd be an amazing story. I've said this last night. It'd be a story that we really need today. It really would be incredible. So, has there been any FBI activity at the garbage dump sites? I thought I heard yes. Maybe somebody else can help out on that comment. I thought I heard there was. Veteran, yeah, I mean, we got to face reality on that, but what's going on in San Francisco? Shout out to San Francisco, and shout out to the bronze medal gift. Thank you, Princess. Thank you so much for the gifts. Appreciate it. And once again, guys, shout out to all the military on here: Army, veteran, Navy, Marines, National Guards, police, fire, local first responders, and veterans. If it wasn't for you great people, I know most of you are saying thank you or that kind of stuff. I have a family member. We appreciate it, the service. And Billy wants to come in and say hi. Billy's been with us a long, long time. So, hey, I want to say thank you for my loyal subscribers and most recent subscribers. Thank you. You know, we're a small YouTube channel. I enjoy bringing you guys. I don't enjoy this. I enjoy this interaction. You know, I do enjoy this. I would not enjoy the outcome. It's unfortunate, the situation. But, sometimes when you have these live streams, this is small, but you have like JLR and some of these other larger channels, sometimes it can become a break in the case, So we've seen similar situations before. They just break because of live, Facebook, YouTube in this case, or the news itself. So. There's nothing to show right now. The news kind of got quiet. So we'll just talk. We'll hang out a little bit here. Was Savannah the youngest of the three? Franklin, I don't know. Don't know. If anybody wants to Google that, I'm not sure. Thank you, Louisiana. Karen, Washington. Appreciate that. Thank you. The oldest. Think she's the oldest? Yeah, so I talked to a few clients today and talked to like 5 clients, and all 5 different theories. One said it was a Mexico cartel. One said it was Savannah. One said it was Annie. One said it's both. One thinks it's still the man they got, the wrong suspect. So it's all over the place. It's all over the place. Chris says it's yeah, I said that earlier, Chris. I hope it's not a cold case. But now that we heard about the backpack, see? Backpack. Now that we know about the backpack that's at Walmart, that they purchased at Walmart, Chris, that sounds pretty good. Hey, what's going on in Ohio? Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that, Deborah. Why was she alone? Yeah, I don't know. My mom had a caregiver. Don't know. As far as I know, that she was able to move, and she had a pacemaker. We all know this by now, and blood pressure medicine. I hate to knock the family on that. I know. I almost said Amy. Annie lived pretty close by, so maybe they kept her pretty distant on her. But yeah, she probably should never been alone. Savannah already has money. Again, I don't think it's Savannah, folks. I'd be totally shocked. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry, I don't think it's Savannah. Betty, what's happening, Betty? How you guys? My notifications didn't work. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube has its kind of a algorithm ways to send it out. All I can suggest, I know you guys get tired of hearing this from a lot of channels, but I have to agree. If you enjoy the content, make sure you have all notifications and I try to go live around the same time, but when you have stories like this, you just don't know. My schedule, by working, I'm usually home late a couple days a week, but we'll continue here. Why did Trump transfer Ghislaine Maxwell to a low security? We're not going to talk about that tonight. I've talked about that before, though, and I'm going to treat that you were really asking. Well, I'm not going to get into that. Absolutely, that's it. Read that comment there from Heavy Hook. Got to double check periodically. Just double check that all notifications. That goes for all the YouTube channels, whether it's JLR or whoever is you enjoy listening to. The cooking channel. Yeah, let's see here. Savannah. Hey guys, I try to get into some of these comments. It's a little easier tonight than last night. We had a little bit more on. But if I do miss any of the comments, never take it personal, please. And there's just some comments that I look at them and I just think it's some spam, so I'm not going to read them. I do want to check. Thank you, Chris. I just want to check real quick because I got a message that Fox was talking about something, but I had Fox on. I didn't see anything. Gutfield was on. So I don't know what he's talking about, but I'll check it. Not from anybody on here, but somebody just said, turn on Fox, breaking news. Yeah, there's no breaking news. So I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, here you go. Hold on, TMZ. Maybe he meant TMZ breaking. Yeah, TMZ, but they're not talking about the situation. I'm not knocking TMZ for not talking about it. I'm just saying they're not talking about it. Yeah, there's nothing going on. And the reason is, what are they going to talk about? I mean, I guess they can talk about, if they wanted to, they can talk about the backpack like News Nation did. They can say, hey, and discuss that. But other than that, that's all we know that's new. Well, some of you maybe didn't know much. I tell you what I'll do. And I know a lot of you just put some earplugs in or chat among each other when I say this. I just like doing this too because there's new people coming in and out. And I'm going to treat it like some people really want to know what the hell's going on. Because I know when I watch YouTube, I like when streamers do this. It helps a little bit. What do we know? All right, I said I was going to say it, but I'm going to say it. This guy, Carlos, was, if a lot of you were on here last night, was questioned for hours. The eyes were similar. The FBI let him release them. And they say, I quote, we got him because of the eyes. Also, there was a video of him peeking into a home, not in that area, not Nancy's house. Let me make it clear. There was enough evidence. Chris, thank you so much. Appreciate the thumbs up. High five, fist bump. And so they released him. We've been discussing, some of us think they should still look at him, and others are saying, no, he has no involvement. The next thing is, most latest, is the backpack was purchased from a Walmart. What Walmart? We don't know. But I'm assuming a Walmart in Tucson, Arizona. I don't know if they said what Walmart. Did they say it? Did I miss that, guys? Bear with me because we're chatting. I'm trying to read comments. But in any event, it could have been ordered online from Walmart. Either way, I think it's pretty big. I hope. So that's new. That came in about an hour ago. We've been discussing the glove. They found a glove, and the glove was planted very against a cactus of some kind. Just said Walmart. Thank you. Heavy hook. Appreciate that. And then we know there's been 4,000 tips in 24 hours. That's a lot of tips. When you have a case like this, people are going to call up. You're going to get some trolls, but you're going to get people who think they seen that guy, So that's common. And then we have the media. I say this, not the news. Why weren't they checked? And I don't mean like search, but at least checked. Who are you? Where you're from? CNN, YouTube Sound, JLR, whoever. I think they should, in my opinion, should have just checked. Not that they're involved at all. Please don't miss, guys. I'm just saying, but just to make sure, these people aren't sending somebody over there. They have it. And then they never checked across the street where the media was at with all the cameras at Nancy's house, as well as Tommaso's house. So just some of the things we're going over with. And FBI's been going to door all day today. We've seen that with JLR and some other of your favorite YouTubers. And that's where we're at, folks. Nothing more than that. We should see what happens tomorrow. And we're all hoping, I know I'm hoping, that we can wake up and hope that there's a lead of a suspect, a correct suspect this time. The correct suspect. Or maybe they'll come out and say, well, we have the credit card. We have the person who purchased the glove, but it's not him. It was fill in the blanks. That could happen too. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised how this case has been. They could say, hey, it was purchased, but we don't know who. It was purchased from whoever. Joe Smith somewhere, They use another name. I wouldn't be surprised. They need to keep Mark Cars. I think there's a security guard there, but yeah, I hear you. I know what you're saying. But Sal, I mean Mark Cars. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, actually. So I hope I brought everybody up to date a little bit more than maybe you knew. A lot of you are probably coming home from work or maybe didn't follow it the last couple of days. And that's where we're at. Okay. Oh, wow. Actor Dawson Creek, actor James Van Der Beek dead at 48. Is this live? Wow. Taz says, oh, is that right, Taz? Not too far, huh? So what do you, real brief, Taz, only if you feel like mention it. I'm sure it's hard for your family and all the families there. That was live. Wow. Yeah, rest in peace. Oh, was it colon cancer? Oh, was that Whiskey Tango? I must have been following this. Thank you, Whiskey Tango. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you. Nope. A lot of things are not adding up in this case. A lot of things aren't adding up, but you know what? Let's hope tomorrow that some things start adding up very quickly. Otherwise, it will be a cold case. It won't be a cold case like Friday, or it wouldn't be a cold case Monday, but you know what I mean. Eventually, it'll be a cold case if there's no more leads. But I think with this backpack's a pretty good lead. Got to keep the faith. Amen. Sorry to hear that, Michelle. Yeah, Shannon, unfortunately. For those who are saying hi, I think it was JC. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well, my friend. The gloves have me very confused. Yeah, the glove does. The glove is so bizarre in so many ways. I mean, if you're just probably the last time I'm going to discuss the glove. Well, that sounded kind of like cocky to me. I personally think the glove. Hey, Whiskey Tango, thank you so much. Thank you. I personally think that the glove was planted there. That's just my opinion. What's going on in Cleveland? And what we know is they found that glove today, not too far from the crime scene. And it's going to go under DNA. We heard from one of the panels that the 99% or 98% there won't not get any fingerprint. It would have to be DNA, or if anything. And that's also true. Assuming I'm wrong, and I hope I am wrong, assuming I'm wrong and it wasn't planted there, even if it was planted there, then they can at least get some information on that. But assuming it wasn't, and it was a glove that was thrown out the window, or Nancy herself had it, or struggle, whatever, they're going to have that DNA. I would say they have that DNA by tomorrow. Ciao, molto bene. I would hope that they have that DNA tomorrow. If not sooner. We'll hear about it tomorrow. They probably have it now. And have that to work with, the glove and the backpack. And if they can put that together, boom. Now you got that puzzle pretty much together. What's next? Well, next would be arresting or detain suspects or suspect. That would be next. Elizabeth, yes, as we all hope that this 84-year-old beautiful woman really is beautiful. You know, just beautiful, blessed with a beautiful face mask. So that's what we have, guys. We will continue. I'll stay live a little longer, and you know, maybe something will break. Maybe they'll come on and talk a little bit about the glove. I don't think JLR is on or anybody's on. I'll check. Let's see if there's anybody on the ground there. Yeah, I think he went to get some rest. He meaning JLR. I think most of those YouTubers or Facebook or live independent journalists, I'm sure they're resting right now, trying to get some rest so they can save their energy to follow the ongoing story, and hoping that we have a Nancy home safe or at least some closure in this case. So yeah, they're all offline right now. So you guys are stuck with me. So come on in. I'm just kidding. It is a sick person. Whoever did this should spend the rest of their life in jail. And if somebody, I'm going to be hard here, but if somebody did plant that glove, let me tell you something. They should spend about 5 years in jail. If somebody would plant a glove to be funny or look for some exposure, I'm just saying this, guys. I'm probably wrong. Man, they should go to jail too. I said 5 years, at least 2. 9 p.m. Oh, is that what it is, 9 p.m.? Chris, thank you. I mean that. I'm looking at Vegas. I forget that they don't change their clocks in Arizona. Does Arizona have the death penalty? I think they do. I think they do. But yeah, I was saying if somebody did plant that, they got to go to jail for a while. Welcome in, Marla. Marla says yes. She confirmed that Arizona indeed has the death penalty. So thank you. Ashley, everybody, I'm over here from JLR Live. Oh, is he live right now? Or you're on from his channel? Is he live? Is that or did I read that? Appreciate having anybody who if you haven't, and I say this over and over, you would think I know the guy. I almost do by watching him. He has a lot of energy, sort of like we have here, and I think he does a pretty good job. Nobody's perfect on these lives. I mean, it's not as easy as you think, but he is literally on the ground and he brings a little entertainment. So thank you all. Anybody who's coming over from JLR Investigates, we appreciate having you. And we're just going over the latest on Walmart. A backpack from Walmart. Where is Morgantown? Oh, West Virginia. Okay. Yeah, I know where that's at. I have a cousin who lives in that neck of the woods. Teresa. Yeah, so update. Yeah, the update we have is the latest update is the backpack. It was purchased at Walmart. They didn't say what Walmart. Didn't say if they ordered it online, but nonetheless, that's a pretty good lead. What's happening in Florida? And we're just going over and over about the glove. And I'm saying this. I'm Sal. I'm saying I think that glove was planted on how it was laid there, but I can be 100% off. And there's no more leads than that. 4,000 tips over 24 hours. And the TMZ Bitcoin that's worth approximately $50,000 to $60,000, which a $60,000 reward for anybody leading up to the crime. So that's a big reward. I mean, good money, but I think most of us on here, I speak probably for all of us, would really want to see the Nancy alive or some closure to the family. But I just want to bring that out there. But how ironic, the Bitcoin, 50, 60,000, they're saying 55, 60. And that's what I hope I didn't lose you guys. That was the note or an email that went to TMZ. And we're also saying, or I'm saying, why did they go to TMZ? No disrespect to TMZ, but why to TMZ, not to the family? So, coincidence? So why not to the family? Yeah, we also, Anthony, OJ Simpson. Hey, Anthony, I think it was you. Thank you for your comment on the homeless. I think you left some comments on the homeless, so we appreciate that. Southwest Pennsylvania. Yep, very familiar with that too, that area. Love West Virginia. Taz. Read your comment quietly here. What's going on in Oklahoma? Welcome in, LGBT for Trump. What's happening? West Virginia's almost like heaven. Do you think they'll question the neighbors around? I think they have. I think they've went back to the neighbors today. I think they went back again. I think they've been back at least, according to the reporters that are there. They went back to the homes several times to the neighbors. Beautiful Bahamas. Oh, thank you, my friend. I appreciate those kind words. Thank you. Appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. All the way from Bahamas. Beautiful Bahamas. Yeah, actually. Yeah, they've been back to the neighbors several times. I mean, I would think if, imagine this, guys. Imagine this, I hate to bring up JLR, but he said this today. Imagine that your neighborhood and a crime scene. We had a crime here. It's how I met our moderator, Mike. It's how I really got started with the lives. Not my YouTube channel, but it was a shooting. And anyhow, imagine something like this happening in your neighborhood. You hope to know some of your neighbors, and the FBI, knock, knock. Yeah, weren't you here yesterday? We're back again. Do you have any grandkids? You have, asking you questions, different questions. Can we go in your garbage can? Can we check the back? Some of these people are work. Some of them are retired. I would assume for some of these people, probably majority of them are elderly, are probably saying, man, we want Nancy found, but we're tired of it. So, but yeah, they've been to the neighbors a few times. And they also been to the neighbor in that distance, well, not the neighborhood, but Tommaso Sioni and Annie, the daughter. So yeah, they've been through that neighborhood a lot. I've seen it live. Hey, Barbara, welcome in, Barbara, and thank you for that membership one more time. Thank you. The neighborhood looks very safe. The neighborhood looks very safe. We see it. It looks very safe, and I believe that Nancy Guthrie, her home is $1 million, and that was the lowest. Don't quote me, but the rest are like 2 mil, 3 million. So it's a very high end, beautiful homes, mountain view area with no street lights. But yeah, it looks like a beautiful neighborhood. It's probably nothing like this came close to happening. And I'm sure they're looking into, I got to charge my phone. Hold on, guys. Got to charge the phone. These phones, they don't last long anymore. Let's charge the phone up. Oops. See that? Is it charging? What? Hold on, guys. Sorry. Okay. Looks like it's charging. Okay, yeah. Property taxes. Whew. Oops. Right back to you, Pelon. God bless everybody on here. I just want to check one more time. Walmart. Oh, here we go. Oh, here's case. Here's
right here at the Ritz.
There we go. Here's some updated. Not new, but we got something to watch at least.
But I tell you something. I am tired of wasting time. These gloves have got to go to a private lab. Othram in Texas can test this glove and give us an answer within 24 hours. We don't need to waste any more time on any of this evidence.
Yeah, former homicide detective Benjamin Jimenez, what are your thoughts? When you heard about the glove today, were you thinking, could be big?
That's
Or were you
Cash
thinking,
Gallagher,
oh,
I think.
process to go?
I was thinking that Nancy's DNA would be on that glove if it was in fact used in the crime. So I imagine those gloves are already en route.
Different color glove.
Get tested. They're probably already there by now. So we should have results really quick with those.
Right back to you,
Nancy's
Karen.
blood, you were thinking on the outside of the glove. What about the inside of the glove? Could there be some DNA that could be useful on the inside?
I was thinking Nancy's DNA on the outside of the glove first. And the inside, you're going to get DNA trace evidence from the actual suspect in the case.
Yeah. Paul Morrow, to you now. When you heard about the gloves today, I mean, we didn't have the day today that we had yesterday because there was so much going on. The video was released. We had the person that they brought in.
Now they're saying gloves,
We had
plural.
the search of
I
the
thought it was
Rio
one
Rico,
glove.
Location. So we didn't have the day today that we had, and it felt like the momentum kind of got pulled back a little, Paul Morrow. But then you hear about the
Light
gloves and you
switches.
think,
Welcome
okay,
in.
things are ginning up again. What do you think?
Yeah, Trace, and that's how investigations go. You know, they have their peaks and valleys, and then at one point, all of a sudden, you
Thank
hit
you, Shannon.
sort of, the peak acceleration, and the thing wraps up. And I do think we're going to get there. I would say 2 points relative to the glove. First of all, Bortak is
Now he
on the
says
scene
glove.
here. I was talking to somebody from that unit.
Natasha,
today.
how are you,
That's essentially
Natasha?
the SWAT members from the Border Patrol. Why does that matter? Because one of the things they can do that a cop like me from a city doesn't know how to do is they know how to track in the desert. That's what they're trained to do. They can find stuff out there that I would not see. And so if there is something to find relative to this glove that goes off into a direction, or maybe they have some tracks that they can follow, kind of stuff, again, that I couldn't see, you have the right people here. That's key. Secondly, to double tap what our crime guest was talking about relative to Othram. I just want to make this point real quick, if I may. The Othram thing is important because that's who does the familial DNA. And they did it in the Koberger case. You can take a minuscule piece of DNA. That's what goes to what
The glove was found very close from Nancy's house.
you can get to familial DNA. So you may not get the perp, but you get somebody who's related to the perp by 40%, 50%. You get a pool of those. Then you got to do detective work. I think that's a very strong strand in this thing. If we can get DNA from a perp who very clearly was garbed up head to toe to try to
I know,
prevent
Chris.
that DNA. It's almost as if he knows that
You sound like
procedure
my
is out
uncle.
there, and he really took precautions.
And it's a great
Absolutely,
segue, Paul
Barbara.
Morrow, to this next soundbite I want to put it up there because this is former FBI agent Tim Clementi. And
Bolanos,
he's
how
talking
are
about
you? Good to
the
see you, my friend.
potential value of those gloves as well. Listen to him, and I'll get Megan McCarthy's response.
Not only would the suspect's DNA be on those gloves, it is very likely on the outside of the gloves that we might find Nancy's DNA. And I think that's the first thing they're going to try and eliminate is see, obviously, know her DNA. They can't necessarily identify or segregate his DNA yet. That will come. But right now, if they can test those gloves, they're going to test them for her DNA to see if she was touched by those gloves at any time.
I mean, you have Paul Morrow and you have Benjamin Jimenez, Megan McCarthy saying, listen, this is what we're looking for on the gloves. What do you think? How big of a deal do you think finding these gloves, if in fact they are the gloves of the person who walked up on the porch 11 mornings ago? What do you think, Megan?
Well, I think it's really important to remember in these investigations that law enforcement is playing chess, not checkers. They have so many tips to comb through. They have so many pieces of evidence that, quite honestly, the public is not privy to, and I understand that. There are portions of the investigation that the public is not supposed to know in order to keep the preservation of the investigation for when time comes to be in the court. I think that these gloves could
I'm still here, guys. I just want you guys to listen to the update.
potentially be a great breaking point for the case. But I also think it's important to remember that there's other pieces of evidence, there's other pieces of, the audio, the video, other things that we may not know about. These gloves could just be that missing puzzle piece, but I think it'll be really important to get that touch DNA, that familial DNA, and be able to sort out all the other questions that we have right now.
Yeah, I mean, really, a lot of questions we do have, and it's interesting as you watch the investigation go on and proceed, and there's always new things that are kind of being added. I want to kind of go quickly now because we had Annie Guthrie's house today, and there were 2 people in there, and as Jonathan Hunt made very clear at the top of this show, we don't really know who those people are. It appears they were federal agents. That's by most accounts, but we didn't have any identification, so we don't know who they are and what their goal was, but they did bring things out of the house, and that was significant. The very fact, Benjamin Jimenez, to you, as you see these 2 agents, these 2 men walk back into Annie Guthrie's house, and they bring out items, and they go in the mailbox, and it looks like they are doing detective work around there. And there's been a lot of speculation on why they keep going back to Annie Guthrie's neighborhood. Why do they keep going back to the house? And what's your answer to that?
They're following up on leads. The numerous leads that have been coming inside into the office, they're just following up on those, and I would say a majority of them are
No
at
spikes.
that scene. So they've got evidence to collect, and they're canvassing the area again. So they've been out there so much. So I truly believe that they're going back there because of the leads.
Are you, as a homicide detective, former homicide detective, are you suspicious at all that they keep going back, or is this just standard operating procedure?
It's standard, but I believe in the very beginning they would have wanted to eliminate the family connections to this crime. So,
Yeah.
and that's why they're going back. They're tied into their because of the lead. So it's very suspicious to me as to why they keep going back.
And it seems to me, Cheryl McCollum, like we are no longer at the beginning. So when Benjamin talks about the beginning.
Hey guys, I just want to pause and say thank you guys for helping me out. For those who know a little information, for the new viewers that are coming in a little late, thank you guys for communicating it so I don't have to stop it back and forth. So thank you.
You want to clear the family. That's first and foremost. I get it. But now we're 11, almost 12 days. And as you see these people kind of walking out with bags in their hand, clearly with stuff in the bags in their hand, Cheryl McCollum, it just makes people that don't know anything about police work, it makes people think that there's something amiss.
You know, there may not be, but one thing I will point out, the gentleman that goes to the mailbox and the agent that you see that picks up the black glove, they're wearing blue gloves. So they do that, we do that, so that if we touch something and it has blood on it, we can see immediately that it has blood. Those 2 folks could very well be picking up the mail for the family because they can't return to the home. But when you have no suspects named, you have no leads of who these folks are that might have done any of this, it is not wrong to go back to square one and start over. Canvas. Go shoulder to shoulder. Do a grid search. What I'm seeing is really good police work at this moment.
Yeah, Paul Morrow, would you agree? Good police work? Do you think it's maybe too many times going back to the house, or is this just something we may see several more times as the hours and days go by?
Well, I'm going to agree that, of course, if you get new leads in, if we're getting tips, which we know that we are, things they got to follow up on, you absolutely have to do that. I'm going to cut a little bit of a different way, just in the sense that I don't know that I attach that much significance to this particular incident, just because of how casual they are. I would argue that there is almost certainly not evidence in the bags that they're carrying. It's a supermarket bag. They throw it in the back of the truck. They shut the door. They leave. I mean, if that is important evidence, we have a real chain of evidence problem here. That's not how you collect evidence, but they maybe just be packaging up stuff that they have left there at the house. But I don't know. I lean towards this being the private.
Michelle, have a good night. Thank you for your support.
Going back to get some stuff for them, getting their mail, because they're not staying at the house and they haven't been there for a while. But they might just be, if it is agents, they might just be cleaning up some material that they left there. They're cleaning out the house for when the family comes back.
Yeah, I mean, it's very potential and very possible. Megan McCarthy, do you have a different take on what Paul Morrow was saying?
No, I completely agree with Paul. I think that, law enforcement is trained in a specific way to package evidence and how we have that chain of control for evidence. This does not appear like it is crucial evidence, and it looks like Like Paul said, maybe they're returning home for medication. Maybe they're returning home to pay bills. Maybe they're returning home for whatever thing. But, you know, when we speculate about certain things, it causes tunnel vision. And one thing
Pasta
in law
Vazul is
enforcement, you're
good.
always taught that tunnel vision is bad.
It's good.
You don't want to focus in on one thing. You want to keep your, you know, your eyes open and scanning the entire room. So we have to remember investigations are the same thing. If we focus in on one particular bag or one person going to the mailbox, we can miss other critical things. So I think it's important to remember that, you know, this is real life. This is not a Law and Order episode. Things are not solved in 60 minutes. We need to trust law enforcement is doing everything they can, and we will get answers.
I'm curious, Megan, Georgia, as you are out here and you are covering this for the New York Post, and events happen throughout the day, and do they call you and
Case
say,
Gallagher.
hey, something is interesting happening over here? There's a search for,
I like
for
him.
this over here.
I like this guy.
Was the action at Annie Guthrie's house today something that was on the New York Post radar, something that they wanted you to cover, and they thought it was significant?
Well, they did send out information saying that they were doing canvassing of the neighborhood,
Right.
and they said the same thing about Annie Guthrie's neighborhood yesterday. Today it was Nancy's. But I think that the Pima County Sheriff's Department has been very close-lipped
Right.
for the past several days. I mean, they have no press conferences scheduled for the future, and they say that they'll only schedule one if there's a major development. I mean, I would argue that the finding of the gloves is a major development, but I think that they're just playing their cards very close to the chest and, you know, wanting the media to kind of go away and let them do their jobs, which...
Would you agree? You think the Sheriff's Department would, if you found the gloves, would come out and say, this is a big deal, or no?
Not necessarily. They're not going to come out unless it's major, but I think...
Taz, I appreciate your support. Taz,
And,
B, thank you. Have a great night.
Investigation.
God bless.
As far as we know, they know everything so far with the video. I mean, they're dissecting that video, the clothing, the backpack, everything, every piece of item in that video. The suspect was
Thank you,
wearing.
Heavy.
They probably already determined where a lot of those things came from. We just don't know yet.
And coming up, we are going to talk about what possibly might be in that backpack. We're also going to talk about the backpack itself because it goes along with the gloves. And last night we were talking with cybersecurity, our friend Kurt Knudsen, who was the cyber guy. He was saying that, you know, the first thing that investigators are doing, and Benjamin might, you know, talk to me in the break about maybe...
Hold on.
But what he
Copyright,
said
Jay.
is
Give me about...
right now, and they're trying to
wait for
find
commercial
out
break.
how many
I'll get
people
right
are
into
buying
it.
that backpack. How many people are buying those gloves? And are they buying them in the same place? Maybe the ski mask as well. We've gotten a lot of emails, people saying you can buy the ski mask for $2.99 online here. How many people in Tucson, Arizona are buying those ski masks? We'll talk about that as well. Coming up, TMZ receiving a third ransom note demanding 1 Bitcoin in exchange for information.
All right, they're going to go break for a commercial, guys. It's my pleasure to be here. We're going to listen in. For those who are just coming in, we're covering the Nancy Guthrie, been missing now for 12 days, abducted from her home. What do we know? Well, we know that this suspect last night who was detained was questioned for multiple hours. They thought they had something. We had a big clue. He was released. And we went through most of the day until this afternoon, early this afternoon, late morning hours, Tucson. The glove, you know, they keep saying gloves, plural. I thought it was one glove. In any event, I'm going to say one glove until I hear something different. One glove was found relatively close to the kidnapper Nancy Guthrie's house. I believe it was on the opposite side of the street of Nancy's house, not too far, and one black glove. And that black glove is going to go under DNA, and the panel and Fox is talking about, will they get DNA? As far as a fingerprint, very difficult. And the second thing would be the backpack was purchased at a Walmart, either online or in person. With that said, they can compare both the DNA of that glove that could be Nancy's DNA and the suspects or Nancy. So we should know more in the later hours into tomorrow morning. And then they're going to come back and talk about the Bitcoin Another Bitcoin was emailed to TMZ. Approximately one Bitcoin that's worth, believe it or not, $50,000 to $60,000, which so happened to be the reward. Anybody, pardon me, anybody who brings this case to a closure, who can, there's a reward of $60,000. I believe it's $60,000. So that's pretty much it. And there's a couple other little things we've talked about. So hopefully I brought you up to date as quick as I could. Now we're going to wait for the panel to come back on and hear what they got to say. But at the end of the day, we want closure. And we're still praying and hoping that Nancy's alive. Another thing that's popped up in my head too is, I've said this from the beginning, I haven't seen a big search yet. I don't understand why. You're very welcome, Jay. I don't understand why they're not looking at this point. Maybe it's too early, guys. Anybody in law enforcement on here? But wouldn't they have a wide open search? I want everybody to think about that, because that tells me they're pretty confident that they know that suspect is pretty close by. Other than driving 45 minutes last night from that location, other than that, they've been in that same location. Yes? So they haven't had a thorough, like a big search. I mean, they're searching, but I don't think they're searching. They're just searching for like clues. So that tells me they're pretty confident who the suspect is. And I think at this point, they're pretty confident it's somebody very close by, whether it's a family member or not. And they're just waiting for that DNA now. And then they take that suspect in custody and then find out, where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? Who else is involved? Did you act alone? Are these indeed your gloves? You know, all that stuff that they do, right? Interrogate. If there is two people, they separate them, all that stuff. So I think that's where we're heading. I hope that we're not having a cold case. Now that we're hearing more, I don't think we are. So we're moments away from Fox panel to come back on. Gallagher. I think his name is Gallagher. Bill, you think he's guilty, Carlos? I don't think, but I appreciate you coming in. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Yeah, this is all around me. We've been online for about 2 hours and a half, and we discussed this last night. There's 453 in here. It's probably cut. You ask 453, you're going to get about 400 different answers, and that's the way it's going to be, because it's very complicated. You know, it's very, but it's starting to almost make a little bit more sense. You know, Tina, it's almost, thank you. I just don't think he is, but you know, I can be wrong. Now we're waiting for, Joshua says, I think she had life insurance, and I think somebody knows more about it. You know, Joshua, yeah, I have a family member who's also said that. Yeah. It's all about money, guys. And not just in this case, but a lot of times, whether it's a kidnapping case that we have never heard something like this big, or family, or theft among the family, or outside the family, more times than none, it's about the money in relationships. It doesn't mean that people are going to do this kind of stuff, but here we are. Cash Gallagher. It would help if I had some volume.
In the case of Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, the home is directly behind us. About an hour and 15 minutes ago, we saw two sheriff's vehicles pull up in the driveway, and there was some kind of transfer of a package. We don't know if it was a package that was delivered to the house that they wanted, or was a package that one was given to the other. We have no idea what it was, but you can still see, even as you get into the nighttime, they are still working this case.
Kringle Jelly, the new suspect,
and they're patrolling.
They're talking about right now as we speak. I think we're figuring out that they're probably agents, but
area, so we will keep you up to speed on what's happening there. Meantime, you have investigators recovering a black glove, and Fox News Digital has a source saying it's actually a pair of black gloves.
Okay.
From a roadside that is 1 point.
See, you guys, how this is changing? I mean, most of us, correct me if I'm wrong, it was one glove for most of the day. Yes or no? Now they're saying 2 gloves, plural. They were saying suspects, 2 other people. Now they're saying it could be agents. So, you know, a lot of uncertain information that we just don't know. They keep spinning it.
5 miles from the home behind me. The New York Post reporting that it resembles the pair worn by the masked person in the surveillance video released yesterday.
There's
The
the glove.
Beaver County Sheriff has now gotten more than 18,000 tips related to the Guthrie case. Now keep in mind, 18,000 tips, but just in the last 24 hours, they got 4,000 tips. It's beyond that 24-hour period, so they may have well over 4,000 tips. So 18,000 over 10 days. Do the math there. How many were coming in a day? You release the video. You ask the public for their help, and you get a flood of tips. And you've got officers that are very busy following up leads and tips, and that is kind of what has happened.
Dylan, welcome in.
Meantime, another possible tip coming from TMZ because they received a 3rd letter about Guthrie's alleged abduction. This time, the writer claims to know who took her, but some are not buying it. The senior national correspondent Kevin Cork is live for us in D.C. to explain why. Kevin, good evening.
Evening, Trace, to you. Now, first things first, TMZ did forward that letter to the FBI, so that could actually help determine where it came from and what the motivation of the sender just might be. Now, granted, the sender asked for 1 Bitcoin in exchange for the name of the individual involved, but that doesn't mean this isn't a hoax or some cruel prank being played by someone out there looking to cash in. At least that's one of the main concerns for law enforcement.
I think it's starting to encourage an environment of more people who may be hoaxes, more imposters, more people just looking to make a quick buck.
Now, as you well know,
I agree.
this is the 3rd
I agree.
alleged note sent out since Nancy Guthrie was last seen on January 31st.
They said they want 1 Bitcoin sent to a Bitcoin address that we have confirmed is active. It's a real Bitcoin address. As they put it, time is more than relevant.
Now, for what it's worth, as we were listening there to Harvey 11,
That sounds
keep
made
this in
up.
mind, the Bitcoin address in this latest note is actually different from the one that was featured in the original note sent by the alleged abductors. We'll keep an eye on things, but for now, Trace, back to you.
Kevin Cork live for us in D.C. Kevin, thank you. Former FBI agent John Nance joins the panel now, along with Georgia Worrell, Benjamin Jimenez, and Cheryl McCollum. It's interesting to me because I want to go back if I can, because you know this is a whole thing, John Nance. When you look at this and you look at what Kevin was talking about the Bitcoin thing, and you know, is it a big deal in your mind? Do you believe that this might be just somebody who's scamming? Because Chris Swecker, also former FBI assistant director, is very skeptical, and he said the following. It's call for 2, Greg.
I sense a scam here. I mean, I may be absolutely wrong. I hope I am. I'd love to think that this was a viable lead, but I think it's one of many hundreds that are coming in through the proper channels, which is the FBI tip line. So the bottom line is I'm very skeptical of it.
Yeah, very skeptical, and that's the whole thing. So we wonder, John Nance, what's your take on this?
60,000.
Well, I agree
Jelly.
with Chris. I think if someone was serious, they'd be contacting the FBI directly, and I think they haven't done so because they know that the information.
Or 50,000. I beg your pardon. I think it's 50.
Knows,
Sorry.
all the details with regard to this case. So I think that's why they're going to TMZ. They're just trying to defraud the family out of money, and it's a tragic situation. In fact, it just adds more work to the.
Yeah, I stand correct. 50,000. Thank you,
List
Timothy.
of priorities.
Appreciate
because,
it.
you have to treat everything as serious until proven otherwise. So resources are being squandered, in my opinion, with regard to spurious contacts like this.
Yeah, I think that there's agreement here. Benjamin, do you agree as well that maybe this is not worth following up on?
Well, they have to follow up on it, but I believe if it was a legitimate kidnapping, we'd have demands that were going into the FBI. They would be dealing with it. They'd have proof of life. We're not going to know that, but they would be working that angle.
I want to go back, if I can, Greg, and you can put some of this video up, the video from the camera from February 1st, the early morning of February 1st at Nancy Guthrie's house over there, because it's interesting. The FBI released a couple of pictures today that did not have the backpack. So that did not have a backpack. There was no gun. And of course, the video you see, there was a gun. There was a backpack. And the big key here is that, you know, the backpack. Everybody's looking at this stuff. Everybody's looking at the gloves and the backpack and all the stuff on there. Where did you buy these things? And you had Harvey Levin again on CNN talking about the surveillance and where you find these things and where the crush of activity goes. He said the following. It's call for 3.
There were reflective pieces on this backpack, and we matched them, we believe, to this Walmart Ozark Trail Hiker backpack.
Ozark.
KOLD said that law enforcement told them that is indeed the backpack, this Walmart Ozark Trail Hiker backpack. So, you know, that's something
He got the
that would be
from Walmart.
relevant, certainly, to police, to the FBI, to figure out, you know, did somebody buy that, you know, in the last few days?
Sorry, guys, my wife just came in the room. Bring her up.
And my question to you, Georgia, is how many
No, I'm
FBI
talking about the
agents were
Walmart.
kind of scouring
Walmart,
around
they
and
got it from Walmart. I'm telling you, they got it from
the gas
Walmart.
station and the Walmarts, and is there a video
Walmart.
of somebody who might have come in and bought these types of backpacks and the things they were looking at? We know they went to a gas station recently, and we're waiting for this information to come out.
Yeah, that's right, Trace. On Friday, there was a Circle K right next to Annie's house,
Right.
or a few minutes down the road. And on Friday, the Pima County Sheriff's Department said that they had taken
Anybody know this?
surveillance footage from the
Anybody
night that,
seen these eyes?
Nancy disappeared from the Circle K regarding a vehicle of interest, but still nobody knows what that vehicle was or what that video showed. I personally tried to get it, and they didn't give it to me.
Well, you tried. Good that you tried. Sharon McCollum, your thoughts on this, on the actual retail side of this, the cyber side of this.
I think the retail is important, but I think what's more important is that backpack is filled. Trace Gallagher, you know good and well.
Chase Gallagher.
It doesn't take a backpack full
Chase
of items
Gallagher,
to
okay.
get an 84-year-old woman with a pacemaker.
The Hills Have
out of
Eyes,
her
part
house.
2 was good.
What was in that backpack, he took with him inside. That was for whatever the
She's
commission
a
of whatever
detective,
crime he chose.
former detective.
Whether it's something to bind her with, something to cover her with, it was important to him to go mission ready. This man has got a mask, he's got a gun, he's got a mouth flashlight, and he's got a backpack full of items that are there to do harm. And we know that because she was bleeding when she left. And yes, it's important to know it came from Walmart. I think it's more important to know the trail of blood and, you know, the direction.
Maybe, Chris.
Yeah, I think you're right. Panel, stand by if you would. Coming up, manhunts that once relied on tips and luck now rely on digital trails, surveillance video, all kinds of other things that identify suspects and accelerate the capture. The power of the digital eye and how it might bring Nancy Guthrie home is coming up as we continue our live coverage in Tucson, Arizona, as the search is very close to day 12. Coming right back.
Throwing a commercial back. Guys, we're going to stay live. We're going to continue listen to Chase Gallagher.
Before Sonobello, y'all, I was literally a size 10, and now
I'm going to
a
put the
size
volume
2.
down so you guys
I
can.
feel incredible. I've got abs again.
In just one
We'll
visit,
stay live for like another
Sonobello's
20 minutes. We'll
microlaser
listen to
technology
Chase
permanently removes
Gallagher.
stubborn fat
He's pretty
by
good.
looking
We'll listen
over
to
your
the panel a little bit more and
personalized
see
consultation,
what
easy
they
monthly
say
payment
and what we
options, make
think.
the best body more
Do
affordable
we
than
agree?
ever, and
They are
military
saying now
members
2
see
gloves.
even more. Call Sonobello today.
Sorry. I think they're saying 2 gloves now. So things are rapidly changing on this investigation. One thing for sure, we know there's that backpack that was purchased at Walmart. Now, so hopefully tomorrow morning, we should know if the DNA of Nancy's on that backpack or gloves. The gloves, plural. Now they're saying gloves, so we'll say gloves. and hopefully it'll match the backpack with the gloves. And that should be that almost last piece of that puzzle. Not the last piece, but second to last, because now we'll have a suspects. And they continue to go back to the home of Tommaso and Annie. So again, we're not accusing them. I'm not accusing them, but very suspicious. So we should know a hell of a lot tomorrow, and I'm sure they'll have the media out there. I would assume NBC will know first, and or maybe because Savannah worked for NBC, so. Let's see here. Jay says, what injury do you think they cause her to bleed on the doorstep? Again, I hate to repeat what everybody else is saying, but it looks like a nosebleed. Or I say, I'm old. You get these marks where you bruise. It could be one of the bruises on her arm. Hasn't healed. A lip bleed. A struggle on the parts of the fingernail. Something like that can cause that blood. What we see on TV and what the reporters are saying that are on the ground, it doesn't look like a whole lot of blood, so that's why they're saying nosebleeds. Again, it doesn't look like it was like a knife or a gunshot, and there was no anything on there that there was any kind of bullet holes in the house. We all do. We all hope that that beautiful woman, Nancy, is alive. Guthrie. Was it only one or two guys? I mean, I continue to say it's a two-man team. 3 is a company. I don't think it's one, but I can be wrong. Heavy Hook, are you leaving? Have a good night. Hey, man, thank you. We're going to stay live a few more minutes here and listen to the rest of the panel on Fox. If you guys want to stay live, we'll stay live a little bit longer. The back door. Tijuana, Mexico. What's happening? Victor, what's happening, Victor? The world is crazy. The world's crazy. The world. Yeah, it's always been unstable. You're always going to have some. We don't know a lot about. Real quick, guys, while we're on a break, I remember 20 years ago when. I know a lot of guys are going to boo at me right now. When CNN was kind of good news, but anyhow, they had a couple doctors on studying the brain. What made the brain flip? And there was even they did some kind of study. I say 20, it might have been 30 years ago. And they did this on high IQs, low IQs. What makes the brain, for an example, we've all had people get cut off on the road, on the street, and you might give them a middle finger. You might even go as far as when you were younger, go after them, but you stop. But to go that far or to do these things like a kidnap that we're talking about, I don't understand it. And I don't think a lot of doctors can understand it. And I don't think we ever will understand to do something like this. But I can tell you this, Kay Cooper, welcome in. I can tell you this, a lot of times it's about money. Money, as my wife would say, it's evil. And when you got to deal with somebody with life insurance or somebody's ill, I'm not saying that Nancy was ill. She had a pacemaker. Doesn't mean she's ill. When you have anything to do with money, people who are desperate, maybe they have a gambling problem, drug problem, or both, or any other kind of financial problems, it will lead them to do something like this. All right, he's back. Sorry, guys. I just hit the wrong button by accident. I apologize. I hit the wrong button, guys.
Cases like the Charlie Kirk assassination and the Brown University shooting. Remember Brown University? Remember how they arrested somebody and then that somebody had nothing to do with the case? Kind of like what happened last night. At least you appear to believe this person has nothing to do with the case. And then in the Brown University case, they arrested the actual shooter a couple of days
All right,
later.
what happened?
How important
They're
is
sick?
video evidence to investigators? Christina Coleman is live in Los Angeles with more on that side of the story. Christina, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Trace. The FBI released this video showing Kirk's suspected killer jumping from the roof of a building after the shooting. Authorities identified the man in the footage as Tyler Robinson. They were able to collect trace evidence from the rooftop, including shoe impressions and a palm print, all critical to the investigation. They released this video the day after the shooting.
Guys, they're showing this because they're leading to a point that they want to discuss.
A lack of surveillance video led to a long manhunt for the Brown University shooter. This footage led police to a witness whose tips helped them find the gunman's body after a 5-day search. And now law enforcement is assessing this chilling video to figure out what happened to Nancy Guthrie.
They're looking for the same movement signature, the gait, the stride length, the posture, the arm swing. Those are body geometry, and it's called behavioral biometrics.
And law enforcement is also
Interesting, wow.
for additional surveillance footage. Trace?
That's crazy.
Christina Coleman live for us in Los Angeles. Christina, thank you. Now back to the panel. Georgia Worrell, Benjamin Jimenez, Cheryl McCollum, and John Nance. Thank you all for joining me. One of the reasons we brought Georgia on from the New York Post is because she was actually in Rio Rico last night.
Welcome in, Q Forever.
Going down. It turned out, at least by most accounts, it turned out that this person is likely not who they thought he was, or not associated with this case at all. But can you quickly tell us what it was like down there when this activity was happening?
Right, Trace. I mean, it really felt like it was a big break in the case. I mean, a lot of press from Tucson just went flying down to basically the border late last night because we heard that they were investigating this person and had detained somebody, which is very different.
I agree, Chris.
Being arrested. But they had taken a person in for questioning, and we really thought that this might be the guy. But a few hours later, they released him.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's one of those things where we thought at this time last night, while the show was going, we had done 2 hours, we thought, oh, this thing is coming to a conclusion. And we talked about the tips, and I think this is important because we had Callahan Walsh on Fox today, and he was saying this when it comes down to sorting the thousands of tips coming in. Listen to him.
Some, you can kind of tell right off the bat aren't good. Some seem promising. And then there's some that, you're not sure about, but might be that little piece of the puzzle that breaks the case wide open. A lot of times it's a gut feeling, and just having as much knowledge about the investigation as you can. Oftentimes it's an Occam's razor.
Thanks, Heavy.
Situation
Heavy
where the
hope.
simplest explanation is the correct one.
So true, Kringle Jelly. That is true too. You're right.
You've over your career.
You're exactly right.
Do you know when to spot a good tip and when's a bad tip?
Well, it has specific information on the tip that
What's up, Boston?
only the actual suspect would know about, or someone who is a witness to the case would know about. And that, it's a triage process. You've got all hands on deck.
Right.
Teresa, how are you?
Many officers that normally don't.
When you say triage, you mean 3 different piles?
Yeah, they have several piles in this case, and it's a huge process. You have people that normally don't work investigations.
Yes, I think it's cigar time, Chris. I know my wife's going to be giving me a look when I say that.
Would you join that school of thought, John Nance? Is it the more the merrier when it comes to tips? Do you want all the tips you can possibly get, or do you only want certain tips that you think are valuable, and how do you differentiate?
West Virginia is in the house.
So in a sense, yes, the more the merrier.
Camacho cigar. Yep, I got it in my ashtray, ready to go.
Bank of analysts with which we can leverage. So we have specific manpower capabilities designed to take in a large amount of tips, of data, and sort and assess those things as appropriate. So I would never want to discourage the public.
That Miller Lite sounds damn good.
Information forward that they think is relevant, and that's as you said, the more the merrier with regard to getting information into the hand hitters.
I don't think it's a woman under the mask.
Are you in the school, Cheryl McCollum, that says that it's a
Some
tip
people
from
on here
the
do,
public
though.
that ends up
So you're not
solving
alone.
this case, or is it
You're not alone,
something
my
else?
friend.
I've said from day one, this is not going to be solved in a war room.
With these tips, I'd be looking for two things. Is anything repeated? Am I hearing the same thing from more than one tipster? And the second thing is, has somebody said something that we've held close to the vest that we have not released that we know is accurate?
Yeah, I mean, it's very important.
Oh, beautiful
You
home.
were saying a little earlier that, you talk about the video because they had to go in for that Ring camera.
Front of
and
that
they had
house,
to work
beautiful.
with Google for a week to go into the cloud and to kind of go in and digitally rebuild that video and claw
What
they
is
could
the
out
deal
of it
with
to
Annie's
get
husband?
The video
Exactly.
that we've been
What is
showing
going on
day
with
in
that
and night,
husband?
About the suspect who was
That
on the front
Italian
porch that
husband.
day. But there are also cameras on the side of the house. There are cameras in the
Excuse me.
back of the house. And you have to wonder if you can go in, or are they going in? And we
Kayla
presumably
Vargas,
are
how are
with
you?
the same process,
Updates or
going in,
Walmart?
trying to claw
Backpack
back
was
from the
purchased at
cloud
Walmart.
Some pivotal video that may or may not
Right there.
change the tone and the tenor of this case. We will find out in the hours and days to come. Meantime, coming up, lots of movement tonight in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. The panel is back with final thoughts.
Final thoughts coming up, guys, and I think we're gonna.
In the investigation.
We'll wait for. Let me just put my finger here for a second. We'll see how much battery we have. All right, so we're gonna listen. We're gonna wait for the panel to come back.
The Max Strength liquid pain reliever that starts working.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Our prayers are with this 84-year-old beautiful woman, Nancy Guthrie. If you first time here, we appreciate it. This has been 12 days now, and we got some clues. We got some late clues here at Walmart, and hopefully they'll get some DNA from the gloves, plural now gloves, 2 gloves. Was 1 glove, now there's 2. 2 gloves along with the backpack that was purchased at Walmart, either online or in store, credit card. I would assume they weren't that stupid and probably used somebody else's stolen credit card, that kind of stuff. So it's not going to be a slam dunk, but I think we're going to know a hell of a lot more than we know tonight. Now, a lot of yous on here, I've been reading some comments. I know I said this, I wouldn't mention his name, but this Carlos guy, I would assume they would had him in custody still, or they would still kept. So I'm going to rule him out. And that brings us back. Who are these people? Well, we're getting a lot of this Tommaso and Annie. It could be one of them, both. It could be just Annie, or maybe not them at all, like they were describing. It could be somebody that none of us expected. It could be somebody out there who we never expected at all. And some of you think that this Carlos guy might know something. So that's pretty much it. And as far as the Bitcoin, I think most of us on here probably agree that it was all a hoax, meaning the kidnappers, and I still think 2 were involved. 3's a crowd, I would say 2, and maybe 1, but I would say 2. And they written this up. They were both teachers. Both of them were teachers. So they knew how to spell, not like me. And they know how to spell. They know how to read. And again, guys, they say that it wasn't anything from AI. But, I did look into and talk to a teacher, and they said they can still, they're not 100% sure. It's not AI. But in any event, we will know more probably tomorrow. We'll wait for the panel to come on and see their last statements. Hopefully they can compare the DNA. And what did I miss? Oh, maybe they'll find Nancy's DNA on the gloves or maybe on the backpack. Maybe, she could have been a fighter. She could have, just because somebody's 84 years old, it doesn't mean they don't scratch back. Not that that's the blood of the suspects, but maybe she grabbed that backpack, meaning her fingerprints or her DNA, or maybe she did cut her finger. Maybe it wasn't the nose, or maybe it was the nose. They'll find that DNA. I still think they know a hell of a lot more than what we should be told. Although I think they need to tell us they don't need anything to do, but they should give a press conference. Yes or no? I would assume the press conference would help the situation. Well, how would it help, Sal? Because when they talk about it and they choose what they can talk about, it might lead to the last piece of the puzzle, maybe a confession, maybe another note, and maybe they know where the person is and it'll lead them right to that area, So I would have a press conference probably in the morning hours tomorrow. I would, if I was them. All right, so we're a couple minutes away from Fox coming back on. They have not found the body. Yes. Or no, they have not found the body. I'm saying yes. Thank you, Heavy Hook, for helping out tonight. No body has been found. No body, unfortunately, have been found. But speaking of a body, assuming that she's unalive, well, hoping that she's alive, but it's, be realistic and she's unalive, that would be the final piece, right, of the puzzle. Because if they get the DNA, and assuming there's two suspects, let's just say for conversation, there's two suspects. They'll put one in one room, one in the other. You know, who did this? You know, who's the one? Get them relaxed. Who did it? Who actually pulled the trigger? You know, who did not the trigger of the gun, but who actually committed the crime? And then they'll give us where the body's at. Where's the body? Is the body alive? Where's the body? Oh, here they're back on. All right, here we go. Final. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Georgia Worrell, Benjamin Jimenez, Cheryl McCollum, and John Nance. I want to get quick final thoughts, but there was a famous homicide detective that once said famously, your worst nightmare is when the case goes cold. That was Benjamin Jimenez who said that, and that's what they worry about, truly is, Benjamin. This case, they worry about it going cold. Fair?
Yes, many cases go cold back in the day, but you think about that, but you want to solve it quickly. In this case, it's gone long, 12 days now. I don't think it's going cold because of all the leads and because so many people involved in this case and with the investigation right now. I truly believe that the FBI will solve this case.
John Nance, what's next for you? What do you think is next in this case?
I think we're going to see a lot more of the crowdsourcing. You mentioned the Brown University shooting, also some of these other big national cases that really hinged on crowdsourcing. So information is leverage. It's going to be released strategically when it's most advantageous to moving the case forward. So that's what I think is coming.
Cheryl McCollum, what do you think?
I think we're going old school. I think you're going to see volunteers on the ground.
I was going to say that.
A lot more searches from individuals.
Thank you, ma'am.
Volunteering their time. I think this thing is going to go private. I think it's going to be quick, and we're going to have some answers.
I think so.
Georgie, to you, it's every day is a new digger. Journalists like we are, who knows what tomorrow brings, correct?
That's right. But I will say, Trace, I mean, this community is one that really wants to help and they really want to see justice done here and they want Nancy to be brought home. So I think, we're hoping for more information coming from the Sheriff's Department so that people can help.
It will be day 12 the next time we see you. And we hope as well with the Guthrie family that Nancy comes home, that there is a big tip that breaks this open. And if it happens, we will bring it to you. Thank you for watching America's Late News, Fox News Alive. I'm Trace Gallagher, live in Tucson. See you here tomorrow.
So, here is a before of my stomach before Sonobello, and this is after. This year, don't just...
I agree with that one lady. I think, I was going to say that earlier. I think what you're going to see is once they get the DNA and they tell us what they can tell us, maybe tomorrow, maybe what is tomorrow, Thursday, by Friday, you might just have a volunteer search. They'll open it up to the anybody. They'll say, hey, come search. There's a reward of $50,000. Get the public out there, the media, get everybody searching the desert in that area. Unless they think it's another area, but let's assume it's in that 2, 3, 4 mile range in between the homes of Nancy Guthrie and the Annie. And my closing would be this. I would say this. There is no suspects. They thought that there was 2 new individuals going back and forth in Annie's house speaking, and it ends up being the feds. So, they said 1 glove, it's 2. They thought they had a suspect last night, or at least detained. It ended up being released. Now we have the Walmart backpack. Hopefully we're on the right direction. But I think they should have everybody out there searching and find some more clues. Maybe the mask is out there somewhere. Maybe something fell out of the pocket. Maybe a rope. Maybe some plastic, and then we're all adults on here. I would think there's no kids. Maybe, I hate to say this, but maybe the body or part of the body out there. Let's just be honest, guys. But again, it would be an amazing story that we all need to have found her alive. It would be an amazing story for all of us in so many ways, that knowing that miracles can happen. So, hey, Richard, good to see you. I don't know how long you've been on here. Thank you last night for your donation sponsorship. Once again, we're a small YouTube channel. I wish we had more to go on. I'm giving you my opinions. Everybody has different opinions. Now that they're saying there's 2 gloves, I don't care if there's 1 glove, 2 gloves. Those gloves were sitting there pretty nice. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that glove could have been planted there. I hope I'm wrong. All right, I'm going to read a couple comments here real quick, and I think it's going to be that time of the night. Wait a minute. I guess I can't go quite yet. Don't Peek. Everybody say Don't Peek has been with me for a very, very long time as a loyal subscriber and a moderator. Hope you're doing well and your newborn's doing well and being blessed. So thank you, Don't Peek. Haven't seen you. Well, we seen you last week. So thank you for being here. Once again, I welcome in Richard. It's always good to see you, my friend. I tell you, I'll read a few comments and then we'll... It's OJ all over again. Yeah, we discussed that a couple times on here. That's probably the only thing for most of us can kind of relate to OJ Simpson, kind of a, all over the spotlight and everything. So. Now I appreciate 259 likes. Overwhelmed. Thank you so much. That's a lot of support. That's a lot of support for a channel like this. Greatly appreciate it. Except we knew OJ did it. Well, there's people to this day thinks OJ did. But yes, absolutely. I hear you. She's doing good at Don't Peek. She's actually behind me, not snoring tonight. Did authorities find more than the black gloves at the scene? Dawn, first of all, thank you for your comment. Welcome in. Far as I know, just the 2 gloves. There was 1 glove, now 2 gloves. The only thing that's new, Dawn, is, I'm sure you heard already, is they knew the backpack was purchased at Walmart. But no, to answer your question, no, just the gloves. That was it. Dawn, that's it. Nothing else at this point. Maybe tomorrow they'll find plastic or a rope, the mask. I'm assuming the mask they won't find. I'm assuming the mask, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe the mask is another area. And we ask this question before we depart our ways. Does anybody on here think it's possible the suspects are in Mexico? Yes or no, or Y or N, whichever easier for you. Do you think the suspects are actually in Mexico? That would be a little harder situation. It would be a little bit more difficult. We got a couple yeses right off the bat. Maybe. Nancy says no. Deanne says yes. So a couple yeses and nos and a couple maybes. Could be. Yeah, a couple maybes. Interesting. So it wouldn't be, it would just be more complicated than it is, right? Could imagine this, guys, before we go off air. Imagine this, they get the DNA, they know who they are, and then they say, oh my goodness, they're in Mexico. It would be a little bit more difficult. Not impossible. Mexico authorities would have to hand them over, but it would be a little bit more difficult. It would probably go on a little longer than another day or 2 or a week. It'd probably go on more than, I would assume, another 2 weeks. Could someone in her family be the suspect, Kevin? Yes. A lot of people on here, well, I shouldn't say that. I think our last 8 lives, I would say it's probably 45, 50% think it's the family. Any more videos from Savannah? No. Last night was the last one. Eyes tell a lot about the person. Dawn? Absolutely. I say that. And now with our 4K TVs, I don't have 4K, but you know what I mean. HD TVs, you know, much better quality than black and white or showing my age or color. Those eyes can tell you a lot of things about somebody. They really can. Not all the time. Good comment, actually. Real good. I'm not involved in Mexico. Somebody else said, I said they could go to Mexico. Are you? All right. I'll read a few more here. A person knew her. Yeah, I think so. I think most of us, I would say 50% of the chat would somebody who knew her. And, you know, I said this last night, and I think Nancy knew who the suspect was. I think soon as that person went into the house and Nancy was woken up, or maybe she was up going to the bathroom. We don't know that either, right? I think when Nancy was woken up for conversation and seen, oh, what is this? Oh, this is a recording from last night. I'm sorry. I think she knew who that person was. And I'm sorry, guys. Once that suspect knew that intruder, the kidnapper, knew that Nancy knew by those eyes, Dawn, everybody else, once Nancy goes, you know, like, you know, and he knew that, that was pretty much the end. That was pretty much the end. Assuming that, you know. Terrible, though. Terrible. That we have people do these evil things over money. If it's money. But again, I think the Bitcoin thing was all made up. And I also believe, I think they said this, and I also believe this too. Maybe one of those Bitcoins is somebody impersonating the kidnap. You know, we live in a complicated, unstable world sometimes, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised that the first one was from one person and then a copycat, you know, jumped in and did this, you know, so. Hey, shout out. Thank you for the $20 donation. Is it Trita43? Hopefully I pronounced that. It's kind of late. Newbie here. Thanks for all the updates. I'll be back. Hey, thank you. We appreciate it. First of all, I appreciate the comment and thank you for those kind words. I really mean that. And thank you for that donation. 100% of the proceeds will help out the homelessness on this channel on behalf of everybody on here. We're blessed and fortunate for any of the donations. Unless somebody says, hey, Sal, get a cigar, which my wife hates me doing. We go ahead and forward it to the homeless in Las Vegas. So thank you. Appreciate that. Super chat and kind words. Thank you. I'm not from Arizona. I've been to Arizona. I haven't been to Tucson. But we've been to Tucson, though, right? Yeah, I think I have been to Tucson. Not in that area, but we've been to Tucson, Arizona. No, I'm in Las Vegas. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Liz, thank you.
You should go Saturday night.
Yeah, we might go, you know, if it wasn't for Valentine's Day, guys, I would be there helping out in any way I could. But it is Valentine's Day and it means a whole lot to my wife. So, but I just heard in the background say, well, maybe go ahead and, no, it means also too, it's my son's birthday on Valentine's Day. So, and also I think they're getting kind of, I do think they're going to, I know I've been all over this, but all over this kind of thing, but more information that's coming out this evening. I think they're going to close this up pretty quickly and open up to the public. And I believe that woman is correct. They're going to have everybody searching. So only one glove found? Yes, but now they're saying two. Fox has come out and saying there was two gloves all of a sudden. So I don't know where that came from, but now they're saying two gloves. So one glove, now two gloves. So again, guys, it's going back and forth from the media and the authorities. Oh, hold on here. We got Julian Lopez real quick. I am from Tucson. I just hold on, road right on the other side from where all this is happening. It's sad. Julian, first of all, thank you for sharing that. And our deepest prayers are for you and your family. And I know it's probably stressful without you saying anything. And our deepest prayers, of course, are in some closure there. I know it's got to be hectic for you to have the FBI and all the media there. without responding, you don't have to unless you want. It's got to be very difficult for you, to see all those people close to your yard. We went through a situation here without getting into details, and it was kind of crazy. It was only one day in my neighborhood in Vegas. So, but thanks for sharing that. Is there anything you might want to say that I haven't covered, or something we haven't heard from any of the media that you might want to share? If you do, I'll give you a minute for a comment. If not, that's fine. But thank you. See here, Isabel 9117 is also from Tucson. So we had I wouldn't say quite a few, but a few from Tucson, Arizona area. So thanks for sharing. Again, I think on behalf of all of us on here, I feel for you. I really do. To have everybody, all planted over there on that one side of the street, it's got to be difficult. I'm from Illinois. What's up, Brazil? Yeah, we're all praying, guys. I think it's that time, guys. Where it's getting late. I don't know. There's not much more. The New York Post now, investigators have found black gloves. Now they're saying gloves. So here we go, plural, 2 gloves. There we go. So things change. Things are changing. But one last time, if you just came on, I'll say this one last time. There's been 4,000 tips in just 24 hours. And there's black gloves now, not one. They released Carlos. And then they got the Walmart situation with the backpack, and hopefully find DNA. And that's it, folks. We'll hope prayers for the family that are not involved. Maybe none of them are involved. Maybe it's going to be the unthinkable. We might be tuning in tomorrow or Friday or Saturday together and say, oh, I didn't see this coming. Oh my goodness, I didn't see that person. Oh, it's a female. I'm just saying. Or it might be, we knew it. We knew who it was. Yes, it was the son-in-law. It could be that. And it also could be it was a neighbor, or, they haven't said this. I'm saying this. It could have been somebody that was very close to her in church. We just don't know. But, and speaking of church, I did hear again, it was confirmed. She hasn't been in church since the COVID years. She's been doing her church and mass online. So that was another kind of a mess up from the sheriff office. I've been very hard on the sheriff, but I'm sorry, I kind of got all messed up on there from the get-go. So, hey, Heavy Hook, once again, I appreciate, I know you're probably going like this. Thank you for your help tonight and helping out with the chat and everything that you do. Thank you, moderators. Don't Peek, Janine, Crystal, Mike, and hopefully I didn't miss any of the moderators. Thank you all members, and once again, thank you for the donations, and Drita 43 for our latest super chat. Once again, guys, before we sign off, my wife would get upset. We are about helping the homeless. We have a lot of short videos. If you enjoy or either agree or disagree, leave some comments and support any way you feel comfortable on helping out. We do this every day. We don't ask them if they're a Democrat, Republican, white or black, or gay. We help them out and give them some food. And we have helped out in New Jersey as well as in Las Vegas. And soon to come, we're going to reach out to some other states and try to go bigger with that as well. So with that said, guys, keep thoughts and prayers with the family and Nancy, or the family that is going through this. Prayers with you and your family and everybody that's working on this case. I will be live again at some point tomorrow, and it should be around this time or earlier. However, if something breaks and you're not watching JLR, shout out to JLR or anybody else, come on this vertical live here, and we'll keep you up to date the best we possibly can as a community here. With that said, have a good night, guys. I'm out. Get some rest. Good night. Bye-bye.